Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Tuesday, June 30, 2026. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. It is an absolute beauty of a day here in New York City. It is the final day of maybe the greatest month of my life. June 2026. I wish I could bottle it up. Oh, these new little thing. You know what, Tom? You got to go a little bit here right now. Okay, Tom? Maybe we go a little bit here, Tommy. You know what, Izzy? We got to go a little bit here. Just a little bit. Okay, meet each other in the middle. Yeah, oh, those two new ones. Yeah, they're a little bit crooked, NBD, but yes, we are starting to get the merch in, my friends. We are starting to drink it up, to wear it, to feel it, to touch it. Imagine 3 months ago telling me, like, yeah, this is a thing you can actually have that's real on your computer. I'm sorry if I'm overdoing it, but I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough. Sports world on fire. Combat sports world a little bit quiet right now. Sports world on fire. World Cup yesterday was an all-time day. Brazil beating Japan, tremendous. Paraguay beating Germany in PKs, as we say here in the United States, unbelievable. And then Morocco, staring down the jaws of defeat, comes back, equalizer, unbelievable PK. I'm very tired. I stayed up late to watch it all. Obviously, I'm scouting. I had to know who we're going to beat on July 4th, so I had to scout. I had to see what's up. I was sort of rooting for the Netherlands. I thought they'd be a little bit easier, but nevertheless, a rematch of 2022. Morocco kind of put us, 6 feet under in Qatar, so this is a nice story. Today, Ivory Coast, Norway, France, Sweden, GC in the house. So if you're going to France, Sweden at MetLife today at 5, say hello to GC if you see him. And then later, Mexico, Ecuador. Have you seen the footage of the Mexican fans partying, singing, dancing outside the Ecuadorian hotels? Unbelievable. You gotta love the magic of the World Cup. Bo Bichette coming home. Landry Shamet back with the Knicks. LeBron's leaving the Lakers. Insane. Like I said, combat sports right now quiet. Next week going to be insane. International Fight Week. If you missed the announcement, we'll be out there in Vegas. We're going to do a live show from the studio on Monday. We're going to have a special edition show for you all on Tuesday. We're going to be live from Vegas on Wednesday, live from Vegas on Thursday, live from Vegas on Friday, live from Vegas on Saturday, live from Vegas following Monday as well. Back home on the Tuesday, a tremendous week. We'll be there for all 329 related activities. And oh, by the way, if you're going to be in town on the Friday night before 329, that's Friday, July 10th, 2026, live at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time from Mama Rabbit at the Park MGM. Doors open at 6:30. It's myself and the GOAT, Demetrius Johnson, in front of the people, live and free. That's the most important part. Free. No sign-up link, no fee, absolutely free. So you just got to show up and hope for the best. Capacity is about 100, I'm told. So please do come as soon as you can. It'll be after the ceremonial weigh-ins. I've heard from people who are going to be in Vegas, who are planning on coming. Thank you so very much. I think it's going to be a great time, and who better than him to hang out with and also to take us on the sort of last stop before 329. So that's the night before at 7:30 p.m. Pacific in Vegas, doors opening at 6:30. Today on the program, back into the show, we've got the youngster Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason is one of the best young fighters in the world. 20-0, 17 knockouts, 22 years young, hailing from Bedford, Ohio, just outside of Cleveland, the current WBO lightweight champion. He's back in Cleveland. Remember, we had him on the show after he beat Sam Noakes in Saudi Arabia back in November. Talked to him about his desire to fight in Cleveland in the 216, close to home. He's getting that opportunity, and not only is he getting that opportunity, he is headlining the first DAZN show on TNT here in America. So if you've got DirecTV, channel 245, he's headlining. That's a really big deal for the sport of boxing. Here I am going on and on and on about the sport of boxing being behind multiple paywalls on DAZN. Well, recently DAZN signed a deal with TNT. You know, this relationship started with the Club World Cup last year. And apparently, from what I heard, it was a great working relationship where the Club World Cup games, a select few, aired on TNT. And so they kept this going, and they've got a new series Saturday nights on TNT, again, on linear television, which is what this sport needs. And as of right now, that doesn't exist. Even like the Zuffa boxing deal, as good as it is, with Paramount Plus, there's no linear component to it. Sport always needs a linear component, in my opinion. The NBA Finals are on ABC. The Super Bowl is on NBC. Well, this year it's going to be on ESPN, and I do believe ABC as well, Fox, etc. You always need that linear component. Boxing hasn't had that as of late. Now MVP back on ESPN, or boxing back on ESPN with MVPW, but this is big. So for a guy like Abdullah Mason to get an opportunity to fight at home on TNT is a huge deal. So we'll talk to him about that. I'm very much looking forward to that. Prior to that, Gillian Robertson is going to join us. And Gillian Robertson was talked about quite a bit yesterday in our conversation with Mackenzie Dern. Mackenzie Dern is the reigning defending UFC strawweight champion. I guess I didn't really realize that there was some friction there, but according to Mackenzie, there is friction. There's a bit of bad blood, dare I say, and I'm curious to hear what she has to say about it all. She'll be fighting Mackenzie Dern for the 115-pound title on the 15th of August, UFC 330, and she's got the most subs in UFC women's history, 7, Mackenzie 5, Mackenzie's the black belt, ADCC champ, IBJJF, all that stuff. And she's like, yo, like she hasn't really beaten anyone of no. Anyway, I'm excited about this chat. And at about 1:15 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be joined by the legendary Big John McCarthy. Big John McCarthy, obviously the godfather of officiating. Wanted to have him on because there's a lot of controversy these days regarding officiating. All the Herb Dean stuff, Alex Pereira, Michel Pereira, Andre Fili. What about Rico Verhoeven and his gripes? Obviously, he's done boxing as well. Big John has. So there's a lot to get into as far as officiating is concerned. Very much looking forward to having, Big John on. Yesterday, at the end of the show, I did mention Mr. Dricus du Plessis, and inevitably we got the call that he has an emergency and he cannot make it today. And so this is going to become like our Jimmy Kimmel and Matt Damon. We ran out of time, and so Matt Damon's going to be on the show next week. Dricus will be on the show next week, one of these days. I believe the saying is, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, something like that. Anyway, all good, tremendous show, looking forward to it very much. And back into the show, our old pal Mark Ramundi is going to stop by as well. We'll talk to him about some stuff going on in his career, 30th anniversary of the NWO, all that and more. So very cool to have Mark in studio. Of course, he these days covers the Atlanta Falcons for ESPN. Do want to remind you that today's program, as always, is brought to you by our good friends over at Kalshi. We love Kalshi. You know Kalshi by now. I want you all to download the Kalshi app. As we speak, you can use that little QR code right there. And if you do, and you put in the code Helwani, that's HELWANI, you can get $10 when you trade $10. So Kalshi is CFTC approved. That means it's federally regulated, which is why it's available all across this great country. Here is what makes Kalshi the largest prediction market in the United States different than all the rest. You're not playing against the house. Peer-to-peer trading. You buy yes or no contracts on whether something will happen, and you're trading directly against other users. It's like buying or selling stocks. That's the simplest way of breaking it down. The line isn't set by some algorithm working against you. Public opinion sets the price. And obviously these days, with the World Cup, with the fighting, with Major League Baseball, with everything else going on in the crazy world that we live in, Kalshi is the place to be. So once again, KALSHI, download the app, use the code Helwani, $10 when you trade $10. Please support them because they support us. Now, some breaking news off the top, my friends. Thank you, Frankie. Some news earlier today in Era. PT will join us back into the show as well, but wanted to get this out there as we woke up to the news of the undercard for the Katie Taylor Swan Song fight being announced today. It's September 5th. It's at Croke Park, stadium that's been talked about regarding hosting fighting a million times. Katie, Connor, etc. And I got to say, it's a great card. A lot of recognizable names. Patty Donovan against Tyrone McKenna on there. That's a nice one. Patty, obviously, part of that Andy Lee stable alongside Hamza Shiraz, Ben Whitaker, Joseph Parker. Dave Allen, he's back. The White Rhino against our old pal Thomas Carty. There's no way this is not a fun fight. Thomas Carty against Dave Allen, tremendous. Love that. WBA Continental Gold Super Bantamweight title on the line. Matty Borland against Joe McGrail. Borland, a Irishman. Taylor Bevan against Emmett Brennan. Paul Ryan against Paddy Gallagher. But the one that I got really excited about, our old friend Meatball Molly McCann, getting an opportunity to fight on this card as well. How great is that? And Molly, a cousin, and she only found out about this later in life, a cousin of Katie Taylor. What a dream for her that she gets to fight on her retirement card. That is amazing. What a scene it's going to be. They've sold 80,000 tickets. It's going to be unbelievable. PT's going to be there. Maybe we'll all be there as well. I can't wait for that September 5th, Croke Park. In addition to that press conference, they also had a press conference to, I guess, officially announce the Ian Gary signing with the Matchroom Talent Agency. You could see some of the clips online. But here's Ian Gary and Eddie Hearn shaking hands, making it official. Here's Ian Gary putting his arm around Eddie Hearn. Two peas in the pod here. They're the best of pals. Is that not a surreal shot? Ian Gary and Eddie Hearn on the stage, hand over the shoulder. Here's a snippet of Ian Gary from the press conference earlier today.
I remember going to Dublin games and it was 86,700, you know what I mean? Like, it's wild. The love in this country for sports and getting behind their own is massive. And I want to be the type of guy that brings the UFC back to Ireland. It's been a long time, do you know what I mean? I've been carrying this flag for Irish MMA for a long time. With my next fight, I'm the most victorious Irishman in UFC history. I'll have 11 wins. And I want to bring them back here. I've been saying it from day one. I am the next superstar of Irish MMA. I'm going to be carrying that second wave. And I want to bring them back to Croke Park. I want to bring them back to Dublin. I want to bring them back wherever they think they can go, because these fans deserve it.
Look, I think it's great to have Ian there. I think it's actually, we can argue, like, does this need an announcement? Does it? But just to have Ian in Ireland associated with that card, obviously he's going to be fighting a few weeks prior, 3 weeks prior, August 15th, September 5th. But just to have him associated with someone like Katie, to have him back in Dublin doing media, this is everything that, you know, the likes of PT have been talking about for quite some time. He needs to reconnect with the Irish. He needs to be backed by the Irish. He needs to be loved by the Irish because they get behind their own. And because he hasn't lived there, because he's been in Brazil, because he's been in London and other places, and that's nothing to like get mad at him about. This is where life took him. Maybe there's not that connection. He's not training there. He's not living there. He's not on the streets there. And so to do something like that, forget about the announcement, just to get him in front of the people, in front of the press there, I think very, very smart, and something that probably should have been done long ago. So we'll get PT's thoughts on all of that back into the show as well. We look forward to that as usual. We'll start today's show off, though, with the godfather of MMA officiating. There is no one better as we sit here today talking about the ins and outs of officiating almost on a daily basis. There is no one better to make sense of it all, no one better to break it all down, no one better to explain to us what's right, what's wrong, who's in the right, who's in the wrong, what we can do to get better, how this sport should be officiated properly. And so I'm very thankful on pretty short notice that Big John McCarthy was available today to help us make sense of all the madness going on in the world of combat sports. There he is. Hello, Big John. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, Ariel. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate it as always. And I was sitting around with the guys on the show, and we were talking about everything going on right now and trying to make sense of it. And I could weigh in, but I'm like, why don't I just reach out to Big John? He's the best one. Let's not guess what someone like him would have to say about this all. He's usually very open and transparent and honest and authentic. So let's just reach out to him. And luckily enough, we're very thankful you say yes to coming on here today. And so let us get into it, because I'm curious, just from your outsider view, without getting into specifics off the bat, are you happy with everything right now, or does it feel like there's all kinds of madness? Every card, there's something. Like, is it just us who are chewing on all this controversy and we make it out to be a bigger thing? Or as you sit there, as I say, the Godfather, and I don't think that's like a big statement or a controversial statement. You are literally the Godfather. You help write the rules. Are you thinking like, hey, there's a lot going on here that we need to kind of fix and clean up?
There's always stuff that we're going to have to fix and clean up. And, to sit there and I tell people all the time, look, we're human, and I don't care who you are as an official. You're going to make mistakes. The sport is too fast. There's too many things going on to sit there and say, oh, you'll never make a mistake. You're going to make mistakes. I think that right now, I'm going to say it's not so much the media, because the media has changed so much as far as Ariel, you're the media. You're actual media. The fans have become media through social media, and they have the right to say whatever they want. They have the right to have their opinion. All of that is fine, but at this moment, they are in this. They're good at attacking officials over the slightest thing that happens, and I call it every official is what I call either the flavor of the week, the flavor of the month, because they had a score that someone didn't like, or they made a call that someone didn't like. And so you're going to be that flavor of the week or flavor of the month. Are the fans in a position to, want perfection? Sure they are. Do we want perfection? Yes, we do. Is it possible? Not in every fight. I'm just being honest. We try, but there's always something. And that's part of what when I'm instructing people or talking with, my peers, it's, hey, man, be honest about if you could have done something better. What is it? What could you have done that would have made this better? What could you have done that would have been possibly a better outcome to this? We're never going to be exactly what everybody wants.
Well said, well put, and very, very fair. I'd actually love to go in chronological order and start with one that, the news cycle moves so fast in this sport. You forget that 2 months ago, less than 2 months ago now, unbelievably, a month and a half ago, Ronda Rousey fought Gina Carano on Netflix. That feels like 10 years ago now. And I was lucky enough to be a part of the broadcast, and I was lucky enough to briefly talk to you in the cage after that Pumi Nakuda Adriano Moraes fight, which I said in the aftermath on my show, I thought that Pumi should have won that fight. I thought that the appearance of him being out came after the horn, after the end of the fight, and I thought when they were going back to look at it, as is great to see in California, you look at replay, I thought they would come to that conclusion. In the end, they didn't. As you know, they scored it a submission win for Adriano Moraes. Can I ask you, did they get it right on that night?
They got it right because the referee is the sole arbiter of the contest. Let's just be honest. And when the replay official is showing the actual referee, who was Herb Dean at the time, what he saw and what is on the tape, Herb looks at it and he calls and says, look, he's out right there. Herb didn't look at the whole thing of holding on to the choke long that a lot of people talked about, as part of the whole thing. He looked and said, I'm saying he's out right there. And that was right at when the buzzer goes off. And so he made the call. Is it an easy call? It's not. And I'm being honest, just watching the fight, and when I talked to you, watching the fight just as it happened. And then I went up and I took basically Herb's spot inside the cage just to make sure that everyone understood what was going on and everything while he was able to go and look at it. At the time, I thought, no, I believe they're going to end up going to the scorecards. And that didn't happen. The call was made. But I want you to, be honest about this and look at it in the way that I look at it, as it sits now. He is the sole arbiter of the contest. He has the right to make that decision. That is his decision. It's not an easy decision, but he made it. And I give him credit for making a call. You got to be decisive in what you're doing. If that fight, and this is the weird part of it, had gone to the scorecards, like I actually thought it was going to when I talked to you.
Yeah.
It was, as a judge, I'm going to be honest when I sit there and tell you, I thought Nakumba was actually winning the round in that third round, which would have given him the win, because I believe two of the judges had gone with him 2 rounds, one had gone with Moraes. And so at the end of that, who am I going to give that round to? Well, I'm going to have to give the round to Moraes. I have to. And why? I am looking for people to do things that are showing me they're going to finish the fight. What's the most important thing? To finish the fight. He showed that even if, he wasn't out at that choke was going to work. That choke was the finishing technique for that fight. So I have to give Moraes that round. And in the end, what would it have been? It would have probably been either a draw or, it could have gone to Moraes. It could have gone to, it was so close. It's a weird situation, but he made the call and it's his call. And that's the way this world works when it comes to the sport. We sit there and, the referee is what we call the sole arbiter of the contest. He's the one that's going to make the decision. Do we have other people that can give information that can hopefully make that, the right decision? Yeah, we do. We put that into place with the replay official and stuff, but he's the one that makes the call, and that was his call, and that's the right way of doing it.
Is it fair to ask, if you were the referee for that fight, how you would have handled that?
I'm being honest, I didn't look at the replay the way he looked at it. So to sit there and give a true definition, I'm telling you off of what I saw live.
Okay.
What I saw live, I think I would have ended up going to the scorecards because of what I saw live. And I wasn't sure that he was out. And I did think that Moraes held it a little long. It's a matter of everyone looks at the bell is the actual, end of the round. No, it's the referee, because a lot of times, and Nakumba's not going to hear that bell. And I'm telling you, Moraes didn't hear that bell. It's the referee putting their hands on you, telling you stop and time, all those things. That's what ends the round. And so when, Herb has, how long does he hold it? It's not, forever, but he did hold it long. And so I thought at the time that would have been what I would have done, but it wasn't my call. And I thought Herb, made the right decision for what he saw. And looking at the replay, great, make the decision.
Wholeheartedly agree with you, by the way. Watching it a million times, I felt like it was after the end of the fight. It was held a little too long, and unfortunately, in my opinion, the wrong guy won. Now, let me ask you about a week later, we go to Egypt. Now, a lot of people associate you with MMA, but there was a boxing match, and you do boxing as well. You've done boxing officiating and judging. I'd love to get your, and I understand, by the way, we didn't talk about any of this beforehand, so if I'm springing any of this on you, please let me know. But there was a controversial fight, Rico Verhoeven and Alexander Usyk, and I thought there were 2 controversies in that fight. A, the judging, which is always, somewhat subjective in the world of boxing, but the stoppage, again, at the end of the 11th round going into the 12th, to me, felt way after the bell and felt egregious and like premature is the word I'm looking for in its own right. But the biggest issue was, if you actually listen and watch the broadcast, it felt like it was after the bell, so the fight couldn't have been stopped in that moment. What did you make of that whole sequence and the way it was scored as well?
Well, again, when you're taking a look at it, that the referee is in that position where Usyk lands a beautiful uppercut that puts Rico down. And, I'm going to be honest, I watched the fight. I had Verhoeven up.
Me too.
I had him up at that. And so, I'm looking at it, okay, it's getting close to becoming more even off of, it's going to be a 10-8 round right now. It could end up being a 10-7 depending upon what happens here. So when he goes down, he takes time, he gets himself back to his feet. The referee allows him to continue on. I think, we have a mechanic when it comes to, you're going to see us, point. When you hear that 10-second clacker go off, I'm rattling things, I apologize, but when it goes off, you'll see me, I'll point towards the timekeeper. And that's to tell the timekeeper, hey, I heard it. I know what the count is now. And so I'm counting. And sometimes, especially in boxing, I usually won't do it all the time in MMA, but in boxing, I'll get down to about 5 and I'll tell the fighters, hey, gentlemen, listen for the bell. That's just to give them a heads up that, hey, it's coming to an end. And that I know what the count is. And so I can get in between them so there's not a punch that lands after the bell. I think that in that sequence, based upon the pressure of the fight, and look, there's pressure. And with everything that was happening, I believe he lost count of where that time was at. Because you have to look at it and say, yes, he's taking shots right now. He is, no doubt about it. We don't want the fighter to take unnecessary damage. He's going to get damage. That's part of, their, what they're signing up for, but we don't want him to take that unnecessary damage. But I think he lost count and lost thought of where that fight was, because you give him that extra second and you don't stop the fight, he's got a full minute to recover. And when you're talking about a fight that's close and is in that position where either guy could win this, then I want to give him that opportunity. He's earned that. He's shown that he's earned that throughout this fight. I want to give him to that. So, in that situation, do I think that it could have been different? Yeah, I do. Do I think I would have done a little different? Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I do. But it's not as easy as people think to have all these things going on and to hold on to all these mechanics that you've been trained to do. Sometimes, based on pressure, things start to close in on you and you forget exactly where you are, in that round, and you make the decision. Now, I always say that the time doesn't matter, as far as I don't care if there's 1 second left on the clock. If you need to stop that fight, you stop the fight. But in this situation, I truly believe that Rico was in a position where he wasn't doing great. I'm being honest, but he was still in the fight to the point where he was able to actually try to defend himself. He wasn't being offensive, but he was trying to defend himself. And since I've only got a second left, I'm going to let him, take it for that second so he can get to his 1 minute rest and see if he can come out and then stay in the fight.
Do you believe, John, when there are these crossover fights and the guy who's not part of the boxing world is doing well, that there's a maybe subconscious, self-fulfilling prophecy that this guy can't be doing as well against the pound for pound best? He can't be winning these rounds. He can't win this. Do you feel within the boxing community, all these guys very well, that there's that air of arrogance there?
I don't think that there's an air of arrogance as far as that. I do think that anything, when you take a look at the big picture of, human psychology, and you look and, I do believe that there is almost that where it's hard to give that person credit for what's occurring when you know how good the one is. And this is why I say for judges, referees, I always say, the more you know about the fighters, the better you're going to be. The more you know about their past, what they've done, where they're strong, where they're weak, all of those things are going to help you in making decisions. For a judge, I don't want a judge to actually know anything about them. I want a judge to, it doesn't matter what they did in their last fight, their last 10 fights. It matters not. It only matters about what's happening on that night in that ring. And so, or cage. And so it's one of those you can look and I've seen it, in the past where, when Conor fought Floyd, I've been in judging seminars with guys that judge that fight, and they all said, you know what? I made a mistake in the beginning rounds. I went back and watched it, and Conor was doing much better than I gave him credit for. And so I do think there is almost like a psychological thing about there's no way this guy can actually, hang and be with, one of our best, or something like that. I do think that happens. And I think it would actually happen, in MMA to a point too. So I don't think it's something that, that they're just, it's a bias that they're just bringing in, but it's almost where I've seen it so many times. You have to just get rid of it. It doesn't matter who is the champion. It does not matter who is the person coming in from possibly a different combat sport. It only matters that you look at it and give the person the credit they deserve for that round and every round after.
All right. And then we get to probably the most controversial and newsworthy one right now, and that's Alex.
You're hammering me, aren't you?
Well, in fairness, this is the best stuff. I love this stuff. I could talk about. We had Andy Foster here last week as well, and I was asking him similar questions, but he's coming more from the. I hope you're not regretting saying yes to coming on just yet.
Not at all, man. I owe you.
I appreciate it. Alex Perez-Ciryl-Gane. Obviously, you've probably heard Alex very unhappy with the way that fight was refereed, feels like he was hit with illegal shots to the back of the head, repeatedly is putting out, petitions to get Herb removed, all this stuff and more. I don't want to get into that right now. I just want to get into the actual sequence in the fight. Do you believe that he was hit with shots to the back of the head? And if so, do you think that fight should have been paused, stopped, DQ'd? What do you say?
I'm telling you right now, I've watched that too many times, and I love the fact that you're putting up these pictures because not one of those was an illegal shot that you're seeing.
Okay.
Put those back up, and let's talk about what is the back of the head,
please,
and what happens in the fight, and what happens in the back before this ever occurs. Because take a look at that elbow. Keep that up there. That is not an illegal elbow to the back of the head. That is a legal shot right there, because that would be hitting right where it's even past the crown of the head. And so that's a legal shot. The back of the head. And here's the problem, Ariel, is we have all these different, we have different commissions, we have different groups, we have different people. And, when the unified rules was put together, I made it very, as open as I could with what was occurring at the time, as far as what the back of the head is, because we were coming into the world of boxing. The commissions were very comfortable with the boxing world. They were not comfortable with MMA. And so they wanted to go with headphones, which is boxing. That is what the back of the head is. And medically speaking, they're right. It's what the back of the head is. But boxing is a 180-degree sport, meaning we cut that boxer like the headphones straight down the sides and at the waist. That's your legal areas where you can't touch their back. You can't do anything. MMA is a completely different sport. MMA is a 360-degree sport. And what you're doing by sitting there and putting headphones on the fighter, and you can go back and let's go back to the early days. There was no back of the head. Okay? They were allowed to hit everywhere that was possible. And we didn't have any complaints. We didn't have people getting hit and going, oh my God. They knew they could be hit. Now, again, when you believe that you can't be hit somewhere and you get hit there right away, it's an attention getter and you're thinking, hey, you can't hit me there. So I'm not blaming the fighter in any way, but the back of the head starts at the crown of the head. That is meaning that all of this, all on top, all of this is good. Okay, so where that elbow is at is a good spot. It starts at the crown, which is towards the back, going down, and it's a 2-inch strip. It's this big. Okay, it is not a wide strip. So if I put my hand back here, it's my 2 fingers together is what the back of the head is, and that's going straight down. Our major concern and where the whole rule comes from is where what's called the occipital junction, where the skull and the spine come together. That was what the doctor was truly concerned with. So that's why I said, okay, so we can take like a mohawk. So let's say a 1-inch variance to each side. And when we get to the neck, it opens up where that occipital junction is at and covers the neck. And since it's the spine, then it starts again going down the spine. And that was what it was. But we had certain executive officers, directors of commissions, and one was at the time in California, Armando Garcia, who was a boxing guy, came out and said, nope, we're using headphones. This is like boxing. And you had certain people start to use that, and it became this whole thing of what is the back of the head? And you had one referee doing it one way and another referee doing it another way, and it was an absolute disaster. We have gotten back to what is right as far as what is the back of the head. And when you look and you see, someone like, Andre Fili just had a cut in the back of his head, when it comes to as far as what is medically the back of his head. But it was a legal place for that cut to be. That was a legal shot. Whatever opened him up, that elbow that opened him up was placed in a legal area. That's just the way it is. And so a lot of people are looking at the Cyril Gahn, and Alex is complaining about being hit. There were a couple in there that I thought he did get hit. But once again, like I said, in the back, when I'm talking to a fighter doing fight instructions, one of the things I talk about is the back of the head. And what I tell them is, hey, look, and you've heard this too many times, when you get to a good position and you can open up on your opponent, I want you to target the ear, because even if you have a Brock Lesnar hand, okay, I can have my edge of my finger on that ear and I cannot reach what is an illegal area. That's how open the back of the head is, actually. And so I'll tell him, look, target those ears. As long as you're touching an ear, you're going to be good. If while you're in the act of trying to, go after your opponent. They move their head and it hits them square to what that illegal area is. You're going to hear me call out your name and you're going to hear me tell you, watch the back of the head. That's telling you, if your name's Bob, that's a good shot. It's on your opponent. He turned his head. I can't expect you to stop that mid throw, but I don't want you to come with a second one. So I want you to either switch hands, come over the top, switch directions and tools. Don't come back with a second shot in that area because there's too many positions. And it happened in the Cyril Gane versus Pereira fight. You saw Cyril Gane going after his opponent. Do I think, Cyril Gane is a dirty fighter? No, I don't. I think at times he becomes reckless when he's got the opportunity to, end the fight. He starts to just wail, and it happens. It happens with a ton of fights. I was talking to Josh Thompson about about this because he's thinking Cyril Gane is a dirty fighter. I'm saying he's not. I go, let me bring a fight up for you. Josh Thompson fought a guy named, Nate Diaz, and he head kicks him, and Nate ends up going down, and Josh Thompson goes after him. He's going, stop, because I know that fight. He goes, what are you saying? I said, you hit him square to that illegal area, the back of the head, as that fight was coming to a finish. I said, were you trying to foul him? He goes, no, I don't think I did. And I go, you did. I'm telling you right now, go back and watch it. Because I know he did, because I've watched it too many times. But it was part of the flow of the fight and the fighter himself, Nate, moving into that position as Josh is throwing, and it hits. And we can't sit there and create a foul based upon the person moving their position as somebody is throwing. This is no different than we have when we would talk about knees to the head of a grounded fighter, and a guy is shooting in to take someone down, and a guy throws the knee at the time of that shot, but his knee touches the ground during that shot, and then he gets hit with the knee. No, it's a legal knee. It was thrown while that shot was in action. We're going to count it as a legal knee. This is the same thing. Many times you saw Cyril Gane when he was being put onto his butt, as Alex was trying to, get himself through it. He's throwing elbows. What do you think is happening with Alex Pereira's motion? He's going forward. He's pushing against Cyril Gane as Cyril Gane's trying to throw, and that's changing the actual placement of where he's trying to throw. I thought Cyril Gane was attempting throughout most of it to absolutely be legal in targeting the right area. Did he hit in a legal area a couple times? I do think he did, but most of them, no, he did not.
It's always a tricky one when you're watching it because the fighter is moving. He's a moving target. I get that. And so how do you know ultimately when to call that foul? Because you can always say he's moving. No one, unless they're out cold, no one's just going to sit there or stand there or lay there.
That's true. Well, when the rule was made of what the back of the head, the terminology that was used was directed strikes to the back of the head. What does a directed strike mean? It means that you're targeting that area. That's what we were looking for. And so we've gotten into this whole thing where any shot that hits in that area, you cannot sit there and just have a sequence where you sit there and say, okay, one shot hit him, we're going to stop the action and we're going to get these guys up and we're going to sit there and say that this was a foul based upon what the person who was being hit created. Okay, you can't do that. Fighters can work themselves, and I'm not saying that's what happened here, but fighters are smart. They can work themselves into creating the foul. When you talk about groin shots at times, you get guys inside leg kicks and and a guy moves and he changes the position and the groin shot occurs. You're gonna count the guy that threw the kick. He threw the kick and then the guy's moving, and so it changes the location of where the kick ends up landing. Sometimes it's bodies in motion do this. In boxing, we have the same thing. How many times have you seen where we get a guy who starts to pull down on his opponent's head as the opponent is coming in with a body shot and it goes low and it hits the other guy to the groin, and the other guy's going, hey, and it's like, no, you created it. You pulled down on the back of the head. And so that's what the rule is in boxing, and that's the same thing that we use to a point, when it comes to the back of the head with MMA. There are shots at times that do land to that illegal area. But is it a sequence where there's bodies in motion and the person who is the one being attacked actually moves their head as this person is throwing? How do you say that a fighter can stop a punch midway? It doesn't happen. It's impossible. And so we give them that leeway.
So I asked you about the Pumi Nakuda fight against Adriana Moraes. I'm asking you about this one. You referenced the Andre Fili one, which was obviously on my list as well. There was an incident that happened with Michel Pereira that I want to ask you about this past weekend. And the common denominator is, unfortunately, that Herb Dean was the official for all of these fights. And so I'm asking, and Dana White was asked this question as well, and I think Dana has an affinity for Herb because he's been there for the longest time. Dana has never been shy about saying how he feels about referees in the past. You know this very well, but he sort of pled the fifth on this one, and I respect the fact that he appreciates everything Herb has done in the sport. But from my vantage point, and I've heard other pundits say this recently, it feels like Herb is reluctant to get in there and call a foul, take a point, affect the fight, not because he wants to affect the fight, but to actually get in there and say this can't happen, a point is being deducted, and that's a tough call to make. That's something that a referee has to be decisive and confident enough to do. It feels from my vantage point that he is offering up too many warnings and not wanting to do that. Is that a fair assessment?
I think everything's fair when you look and you say, is there times when Herb possibly could take a point and he doesn't? Sure. Absolutely. But there's times that I can look at and say, all right, let's look at Cody Garbrandt versus, I can't say his whole name, Zhao.
The shots to below the belt.
Yes. How many points did he take?
Was it 2?
2.
Yeah.
On 2 different occasions.
Yeah.
Right? You had a groin shot that occurred. He didn't take points. He gave a warning. Then you have another one that occurs shortly thereafter, and Cody's down for a while, and he takes a point. And then they come together, and he has another groin strike, and he takes another point. So there are times I can point out Herb has been absolutely on top of things, and he'll take points. I'm going to say this straight out. Herb Dean is a friend of mine. I love Herb. Herb is one of the nicest human beings that you will ever find. And the one thing I will say is he doesn't want to interfere with the fight. He doesn't, and I don't, and no referee does. The greatest fight I can have is a fight where someone goes, who's the referee of that one? Perfect. Because that means that I didn't have to really get involved. I didn't have to do a whole lot. I got to move around in there and just see things. If I had to say something, I said something to someone, but no one knew about it really. And so it was clean and easy. Those fights happen. Many times they don't. And you have to, involve it and bring yourself into the equation of it. But no referee should ever want to be the difference maker in the fight. We want the fighters to settle that. And you get a lot of people talking about, hey, you should be taking points for this. Every groin shot should be a point taken. Every eye thing should be a point taken. And you look and you go, okay, I wish I could give you a taste of that, because you would hate it and you would be incredibly pissed off, and there would be a lot of fighters losing that did not deserve to lose fights based upon the way you want me to do something. We have to be equitable, and we have to look and say, what's best for the fighters at the moment? What's best for the sport? What did the foul, if there was a foul committed, what did it actually do to affect the fight? If it did something to affect the fight, you should be taking a point. If it didn't do anything to truly affect the fight, then we try to either give a warning, take positions away, things like that. The real reason you're seeing a lot of, what you have with, the way we do fights in MMA is we have usually 3 rounds. 3 rounds, a point deduction is not like what you see in the NFL with there's a 10-yard penalty. There's a 15-yard penalty. We're talking about a penalty that gives a score. Okay. So when you take just 3 rounds, taking that point is a huge difference in the outcome of the fight. And so we are hopefully judicious with how we do that. And we're not going to just be, taking points like everyone is talking about. You can't do that because you affect the sport in a negative way. And Dana White would not be happy with that. He's going to be pissed, because the fighters are the ones that should be determining who wins the fight. Could, Herb take points on certain things? Yeah. There's times that, he's not taking a point, and I would have. And I'm sure there's times that I've taken a point and he wouldn't have, or he, maybe I haven't taken it and he would have. We're all going to be a little bit different in the way that we view things. We're different people, but we all try to be as together as we possibly can. When it comes to certain fouls, we all talk, we get together and we say, hey, we need to be more strict about this. We need to, we do have this foul and we're not calling it the way it needs to be called because fighters are now taking advantage of it. Things like the grounded fighter. We went and changed the rule based upon fighters took advantage of something in a rule that absolutely made the person who was the offensive fighter have difficulty in attacking the defensive fighter. A rule shouldn't be protecting you in that fashion.
Surely holding on to someone's ponytail is worthy of a point deduction. That's what we saw this past weekend with Michel Pereira and Shara Magomedov. Like that, how is that not a point deduction? He's. I don't know if this is the perfect picture, but there you can see it right there. He's grabbing on to his ponytail.
I don't know. I remember a fight with a guy named Hoist Gracie against Chemo. It looks very similar.
Yeah, but the times have changed.
It has. You're right.
The rules have changed.
But yeah, I get people all the time telling me that I was wrong for allowing Hoist to hold on to his ponytail.
Yeah, a lot of things were allowed back then.
A lot of things were allowed. And look, I will tell you, if I was there, I might have taken a point for that. I'm being honest.
I guess what I don't know is like, when's it appropriate to give a warning and when's it appropriate to take away a point? I have long said, and I think you'll disagree with me, and obviously that's totally fine, but like the warning should be in the locker room. That's the warning. It's a 15-minute fight because it feels to me that a lot of guys are pushing the limits knowing that someone like Herb is reluctant to take away the point, so let me cheat, gain an advantage, and thus now I'm in the driver's seat in this fight because I know I'm not going to be reprimanded. It pays to cheat sometimes in this sport, holding onto the cage, things of that nature.
Yeah, look, I'm telling you right now, all the time you get these, fighters do things, and I say, I always give them the out of, look, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. It's my job to make sure that your cheating doesn't give you an advantage. And so you look and you go, when you say, give them a warning in the back, we do all the time, but fighters are smart and they judge referees the same as we judge fighters, and everyone's got a style and a way of doing things. I don't think about it, Ariel. There was a time when John Jones tried to get me off of his fight. Why? And he said, we've got bad energy. Okay, was it bad energy? Was that why he wanted me off of his fight, or did he know that I would call him for poking people in the eye or putting his fingers out there? He's being smart. He's being an intelligent fighter saying, you know what? While he's not fighting, let me get rid of this guy because he can give me a problem in the middle of my fight. And so, fighters are going to judge, the way referees work and stuff. They can't really do anything about, I'm sorry about that.
All good.
My God. I have it off too in this.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear it. Sorry.
No, we can't hear it.
I have Mark Goddard calling me right now.
Does he want to jump in too? Can we have a peace summit?
No, I wish. So, the whole thing is fighters are smart and they'll start to figure out if they think they can get away with something with someone. And that means that Herb or any referee, myself, Mark Goddard, Jason Herzog, Mike Beltran, we all need to make sure that we cannot be in that position where someone feels like they can get away with something. We need to make sure that we are being fair to both fighters and we are having a level playing field for the fight. That means both guys get, called for the same things. Both guys get the same type of thing. And there are times when we do issue a warning on one thing and then take points on another. And that's based upon the effect of what the foul was in our eyes. And it is in our eyes. There's no doubt about it. Again, we're the sole arbiter. And we can be wrong. It could be that it affected someone more than we really looked at and gave it credit for. But we are there to try to keep things as level as we can and let the fighters be the ones that decide the fight.
You guys are human beings. Has there ever been a point in time? Yes. Has there ever been a point in time where you started to second guess yourself because of the criticism, or maybe a referee has come up to you and said, like, man, I'm feeling it right now and I'm second guessing myself because I feel the eyes of the people on me. I feel everyone scrutinizing me. It's just a lot. And, like when you're performing in any type of job, when you feel that scrutiny, you may be a little gun shy. You may not have that confidence to make the tough call. Have you ever felt that or experienced that with another official?
Everybody's human. Of course they're going to feel it. At least I'm of the age. I'm so freaking old and dilapidated that, it doesn't affect me anymore. I don't give a shit what anyone thinks. It doesn't matter to me because I know that I go out and what I do is I try to be as fair as I can to both fighters in the fight. If something needs to be done, I'm going to do it the way it needs to be done. Where you really find a lot of officials, I've talked a lot of officials out of quitting. Some of them I've told maybe it's time for you to step away. If this is affecting you to that point, and we get death threats, we get all kinds of stuff, and it's like, really come and try to, I appreciate you putting me on the show. I was working on my shooting range. And so I got out of the hot sun. That's what I told you. I said, it keeps me out of the hot sun. So, it's like you get a lot of idiots out there and a lot of idiots that'll say things that you go, hey, if you want to take the chance, come on. That's all you can do. And, if you allow those people, to affect your life, then it's not worth it. The sport's not worth it. I can tell you, I love, MMA. I love boxing too, but, MMA is my number one sport. There's no doubt about it. And I have enough common sense that I do listen to people. I have people that, are going to tell me the truth. I always say, hey, take a look at your hand. And if you're starting to, listen to more than what you see as far as fingers on that hand, you're being an idiot. You're letting things get too far, and you're not, thinking about this in a reasonable, competent fashion. You've got to have those people that will tell you the truth. Could I, what did you think? Did I make a mistake here? And they'll tell you, you know what? I do think you made a mistake, and this is where the mistake was. Or they'll tell you, no, you didn't. That was right. And you've got to go with that, because if you start to listen to all the noise outside of that, it'll tear you apart. And it has. I've seen officials get destroyed by social media posts and podcast and people saying things, because we live in a different world than we did in the past. You didn't see this when all we had was newspapers and the evening news. You didn't hear about officials.
Yeah.
Now you hear about it all the time. And in MMA, for whatever reason, officials are more popular with the fans than other sports. They've just become where, we're part of the whole, concept of the sport, and they recognize you more. And so with that is the good and the bad, and you'll get both.
I think part of the reason is there's so few good ones that we see the same sort of 5-6 characters almost on a weekly basis. And that's why I think the fans are really drawn to them. I'll ask you about one more example if I can, and I'll let you go back to the gun range and the hot California sun. You mentioned Mark Goddard. So Mark Goddard was the referee for the Ilia Topuria versus Justin Gaethje fight at the White House. And I'm just curious about that sequence. There was a sequence, third round going into the fourth round, where other fighters like Arman Tsarukyan, who obviously has a bone to pick with these guys and is going to weigh in, is like, hey, why are we giving Ilia more time here? And there was a sequence where one doctor seemed to have said, like, nah, I don't think he can see this fight shouldn't continue. And then another doctor overruled him. And then Mark came in and seemed to have overruled everyone and said this fight is continuing. And then in the end, fourth to fifth, obviously, Ilia's corner stops the fight. Did you have any issues with how that all went down, in particular between the third and fourth round?
I had no issues with it at all. And in fact, I give Mark Goddard credit for actually being the whole concept of what's right for the sport, what's right for the fighter at the right time. And when I say that, Ariel, I want you to think about everything. And this is no disrespect in any fashion to, that ringside physician. But here, I'm going to give you a little synopsis of this. As I was watching, the White House card, first off, I knew everybody. I'm looking, I'm saying, oh, there's Mark Relier, there's Alex Aguilar, there's, someone, and I'm just going off of, from the inspectors to, everybody.
You should have been there, John. You should have been there. Why weren't you there, by the way?
Dana doesn't like me. I went to work for somebody else.
Okay. So, we're still holding on to this.
Hey, you know what? It is what it is, and it doesn't bother me.
Okay.
But anyways, let's get back to this, because it is important. It's important for people to understand this. I always go off of you're only as strong as your weakest link. And when you look at this, like I said, I'm looking at everyone, and you've got, Mike Beltran, Jason Herzog, Herb, Mark Goddard, in there. And, Mark Goddard was the guy for the main event. And those are all strong people in the sport. And you're going, they deserve to be there. They've worked incredibly hard to be at that level. And this show needs it because, you saw it with the fighters. Every fighter they had been in the UFC for a while, except maybe, Josh Hokett, who has only been there a short time. But for the most part, they'd all been there a long time. They're all comfortable with being in the octagon. And I saw even, the Sean O'Malley's of the world. They were hyped. Mm-hmm. They were in a position where you could see the adrenaline was, and they were all having a little bit of an adrenaline dump during those fights because of how big this was and how special it was. And man, the referees are no different. They're going to have a little bit of that because it is special. And so when you look and you go, I know all these people. There was one that I didn't know. And I teach for the Association of Ringside Physicians. I was just at their annual conference, just last month in Orlando, with them for 3 days, going over things. And there was one guy, I'm not saying that he hasn't done fights in the past, but he has not done fights like I can name off ringside physicians that have done huge fights over and over and over again. There's guys like Paul Wallace in California. There's guys like Damon Zavala in Nevada, David Watson. All these guys have done, so many fights. Not one of them was there, and they weren't there because you have to be licensed in that area as a doctor to be the ringside physician. So the one person we have a ringside physician from DC. You take a look at everything and you look at the fight. Obviously, Topuria, does great in the second round. He comes out in the third. He gets his butt beat by Justin. But when he's coming back, you watch him, he walks. Does he know where to walk to? Does he see where to walk to? These are the things that we look at. These are the things as a referee I'm always looking to see. I want to see how he walks. I want to see how straight he walks to his corner. Does he, aim himself? All these things that I want to take note of. He does. He walks to his corner. He turns around. He starts talking to his brother, and his brother basically starts to say he can't see out of his right eye. Well, when you get, hit in the head, a bunch of times with some heavy ass blows, there are many times, anybody that's been hit a lot, I can tell you, you do lose some of your vision. You absolutely, lose the clarity, and you'll start to, see double at times or blurred, and all those things happen. So he tells his brother that as he's sitting down, and Alex Ibarra is the inspector. He's originally from Nevada, and he hears it. He speaks Spanish, and he takes that and he relays it to Mark Goddard as the ringside physician is standing there. And he tells Mark Goddard, he says he can't see out of his right eye. Many times with a lot of ringside physicians that don't, do a ton of fights. And, ringside physicians are like everyone. They talk like referees, judges talk, between each other about fights and how to score. Ringside physicians do the same thing, and that's why they have the conference and everything. And we bring, ideas out for them to understand. But a lot of the, that you'll hear from a lot of ringside physicians, as soon as a fighter says, I can't see, they're asking me to get him out of the fight, I'm going to do it. Okay. Well, he doesn't hear that from Ilya. He hears it from Alex. And so you see him do his test. I'm not saying that I think it's the proper test to do when you have a guy that's saying, I can't see out of the eye. There's a different thing to do, but he does the finger whack test. But you look and you see Ilya, his eyes tracking, which says what? He can see. Okay, I'm not saying he's seeing clearly, but he can see. And so the doctor right away says, no, we're going to stop this. Mark stops it at that point, says, hold on, let's slow down here and let's look at this, because right away he sees Ilya doing what? He's complaining. All right. And you gotta, this is the whole thing where I tell people all the time, you hear a lot of referees say, well, I do every fight the same. Bullshit. If you do, you're not a very good referee, because it's impossible to do certain fights. I'm going to do preliminary fights a little bit different. I'm going to do main card fights a little bit different. I'm going to do championship fights. And then you have those special fights. And this is one of those special fights. This is the biggest fight the UFC ever put on. No matter what anyone wants to say, this main event is the fight of all fights that they've ever put on, based upon where it's at, who's in it, all these things, all measured together. It's huge. Ilya is the champion of the world in the lightweight division. He's undefeated. All of those things, that takes something to get there. He is in a fight where he's in the fight. He almost had his opponent out in the second, but now he's had a bad third. But he's in the fight. It's not like he's been getting his ass whipped throughout the fight. He's in this fight. So Mark makes the determination, hey, let's take another look at him. Let's see, if, he's okay to fight, because he seems to me he wants to fight. And I'm not going to tell you what to do, but take another look at him. And the doctor takes another look at him, and he goes, okay, we can let him go, but let's watch him. Did he come out in the fourth round, and did he fight well? He fought really well in the beginning. He lost it at the end, no doubt about it, but he was fighting well in the beginning, which is telling you what, Ariel? He can see. Because if you can't see, you're not throwing the shots that he's throwing, and you're not being able to defend the way he was defending. So you got to look and say, does Ilya, and this is where you get all these people, oh, we're supposed to be protecting fighters. Yes, we are. But you can't protect them from being damaged. And he was damaged, no doubt about it. But what you want to do is say, I'll protect you from drowning. I'll protect you from the unnecessary damage that's going to affect you, throughout the rest of your life. That's what I'm trying to protect you from. You're going to get damaged, and it's going to, affect who you are just by being a fighter. Is that fair? Not saying it is, it's just the truth. I have a fighter here who deserves me to give them as much line as I can give them in this situation based upon everything they've done in the past and who they are at this time. I've got to let this guy go back out. He wants to go back out. It's not that one cut is so bad it's going to affect something, or it's going to affect the doctor being able to suture it right, or any of those things. He can see his nose is broken. There's not a doubt about it. It sucks to get hit on it, but he wants to continue. And at this point, this is his job. Yeah, I'm going to let him continue. If I see something that tells me you're not competing in a way that is, you're not able to protect yourself, I'm going to get you out of the fight. And that's what Mark did. And Mark was right for what he did in slowing the doctor down and getting the doctor to change his opinion, basically. I've done the same thing in world title fights. It's just that the camera wasn't on me at the time. And so people didn't know about it. But was it the right thing to do? It was the right thing for me to do at the time.
Invaluable info. Thank you so much, John. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate your insight. And thank you. Sometimes we complain about lack of transparency and getting answers in our sport. We have to sort of sit here and opine. The fact that you come on and stand there in the firing line, so to speak, is very, very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. You take care, Ariel.
And happy 4th to you and your family.
Thank you very much, man. Same to you, man. I hope you have a great one.
Thank you. There he is, the great Big John McCarthy. I mean, he helped write the rules, and so what a treat to be able to fire up some questions and ask him a whole bunch of stuff, because, there's a lot going on in this sport, and there's a lot of subjectivity. Unlike in basketball, we can argue about, like, Victor Wembanyama being dirty and, shoving Jalen Brunson's head to the ground, which obviously did happen and was not called. But those moments are somewhat few and far between. In our sport that we cover, so closely, MMA in particular, but also in boxing, there's so many subjective quick calls that can be made, not made, refs choose not to make, miss, whatever the case is. And so love being able to get into that stuff. Hope you appreciate it as well. Yesterday on the program, we had the reigning defending UFC strawweight champion, Mackenzie Dern, on. Obviously, we had her on to preview the upcoming title fight, her first title defense that's going down August 15th, UFC 330, Philadelphia, as you know, co-main event to Issa Makhachev versus Ian Gary. Well, wanted to have the other side of the equation as well. And she is, by the way, the first Canadian to fight for a UFC title since June of 2020. It has been 6+ long years since a Canadian fought for a UFC title. On that night, it was Felicia Spencer against Amanda Nunes. On August 15th, it's Gillian Robertson against Mackenzie Dern, and Gillian Robertson is kind enough to join us right here and now on this Tuesday afternoon to talk about it all. Hello, Gillian. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, and congratulations on this huge achievement and honor in your career. Certainly worthy of it. 5 in a row at strawweight. Can I ask, though, off the top, and congratulations again, it seemed like everyone thought, all right, Mackenzie wins. Zhang fought at 25. She's coming down to 15. It's going to be Zhang Weili versus Mackenzie Dern. And for whatever reason, we still don't really quite know why it's not. I'm wondering, did you think it was going to be Zhang Weili? And were you surprised when you got the call to fight for the belt?
I guess I was kind of hoping for the best, I guess. I knew that Whaley was definitely in the talks if she was coming back. I do think she deserved the spot before me. Obviously, things didn't work out that way. I don't know if it's something on her side, the UFC side, whatever, but after my last performance, I expected the call and I was hoping for it as long as Whaley wasn't back in the picture.
So you've been in the sport for a long time. To get that call, can you tell us like what it felt like? Where were you? How you reacted?
So my manager actually texted me. It was, I want to say like 7 p.m. at night, but I was already sleeping because I'm an old lady.
Okay. You go to bed at 7 p.m.?
Yeah, usually between like 7. I want to say last night I was in bed at like 6:45.
Holy smokes. In the summertime too, with like sun fully out.
Yeah, I'm not cool.
Okay.
Man, it's like bright outside when I'm trying to go to sleep. It's bad.
Wow.
But yeah, so my manager texted me it at night, and then I woke up the next morning and I saw it, and she just texted me, said, "Wake up, girl, you got a title fight."
Wow.
And obviously super excited. It was just, I almost, like I said, I've been waiting for it to happen. I knew that as long as Whaley wasn't in the picture, it was my shot. So I was just waiting for it. When it happened, I was definitely hit with a lot of emotion, but it just feels like it's time.
By the way, if you're going to bed at 6:45, what time are you waking up?
Again, obnoxiously early. I'm usually up at like 4 a.m.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because if you're waking up at like 9 and going to bed at 6:45 or something like that, that would be a lot of hours. So what are you doing it for?
Honestly, I get up and I start doing like recovery stuff, start getting ready for training. I start doing like red light, I don't know, warming up just in general, doing like band exercises, things like that. I usually start training around 8 a.m. So I'm like, for a couple hours, I do just stuff like that.
Wow. Okay. Fascinating. So you've been in the UFC for 9 years. You debuted in 2017 via The Ultimate Fighter. When you started this journey, did you think it would take 9 years to get a title shot? Is this happening a little bit later than you thought? Did you think you would never get a title shot? How do you like reflect on the journey to get to this point?
I don't know what I ever thought. Like, I guess getting into the UFC, I was just along for the ride. And I guess that's still where I'm at. I'm like, I just love getting in the cage. I love fighting. And the belt was never like the huge focus. It's always just been fighting and my performance.
And so it's interesting to hear you say, and I appreciate the humility, very Canadian of you, by the way, like if you wanted the title shot, you thought you did enough, but if it would have been Zhang Weili versus Mackenzie, you wouldn't have been upset. You acknowledge the fact that if anyone should get that crack at the belt, it should be her because she gave up the title, right?
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, I want to say you talked about it yesterday, a lot of people still call Weili the champ. She still has a lot of the respect around that because she gave away the belt. So I still think that, when I win the belt in August, I expect her to be my first challenge as well.
Do you consider her to be still the best 115-pounder in the world?
I think it's hard to take that away from her until you actually take it away from her, until you do beat her. So I think it is hard to not call her the best 115er right now.
You referenced, I think, the chat with Mackenzie that we had yesterday. Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw clips of it.
Okay, fair enough. I was a little surprised that there was any sort of friction between you two. She had mentioned initially that she felt like you were sort of poking at her and throwing some shade. Just for the record, I wanted to play the clip and get your reaction to it. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, here's Mackenzie from yesterday's show. Gillian Robertson has only been submitted once, and that was back in 2018. Is this something that you have noticed? Do you think about that, given your background? She's been great as of late, right? She's won 5 in a row. She's looked really good. Do you note that and say, I'd like to give her one, or do you not think that way?
I mean, I would definitely like to submit her just because she's kind of been someone who's been talking so much about like submissions and like she's kind of been like comparing herself a lot to me even before I was a champion, just like that she has more submissions than me and stuff like that. And she's never really been someone that I've paid attention to. I don't know if it was just because she was in the 125 division or what, but. So, I mean, definitely the fact that she, like, has this whole thing about being, like, the best submission artist and stuff like that. And she's kind of, like, I don't know. I just felt like she's kind of, like, throwing a little bit of shade or just kind of putting down all my accomplishments and everything in jiu-jitsu, like, as if I'm not this good jiu-jitsu fighter, So I would definitely like to be able to submit her because that would be amazing. And I'm trying to obviously get my submissions up. I'm, like, have the most submissions and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the goal, we're just training so hard to beat her every single place. And so she has no outs, So we want to like still at the same time, even though I like to get the submission, we want to be solidify ourselves as a great champion.
Okay, so what do you say to that, Gillian? Are you throwing shade her way? Have you been doing that?
I don't think I've been throwing shade. I've been saying that I don't know, that I think this is a good matchup. Her having the most, or her being the most accoladed jiu-jitsu girl, me being the submission artist of the UFC. I have the most submissions. I have the most finishes for women. And I'm like, I don't take anything away from her jiu-jitsu accomplishments. But that's jiu-jitsu, and we're fighting MMA now, and that's where I'm going to be better.
As far as, and you're 100% right about that, this is an MMA fight. As far as MMA jiu-jitsu, who's better, you or her?
Oh, I think it's I obviously I wouldn't be taking this fight if I didn't think it was me. I think that I am just more aggressive. She does have good jujitsu, like jujitsu. She does. I'm sure she trains with a lot of high level girls that train jujitsu, but they're not elbowing her in the face like I will.
And she's talked about, I competed in ADCC, IBJJF, where's Gillian competed. What is your response to that? Have you competed in any type of tournaments like that?
I've competed in the UFC the last 9 years, and I've been training MMA. So I'm like, that's the sport that matters to me. So I'm like, those accolades, yeah, they're cool for jiu-jitsu. They don't matter now.
That's fair. That's 100% fair as well. How did your jiu-jitsu get to be so good? Who's the secret behind your success, in your opinion? Or is it all you?
I think it is a mix of me and Dean Thomas. I think that his brain has just innovated my game, and we've really made it more of an like how I grapple is more MMA. We're looking for opportunities to do damage, to set up submissions, to just to work on everything. And I feel like he's really the genius behind it.
How would you rate? I'll ask you the same question I asked her. How would you rate her submission skills as far as MMA is concerned? Do you consider her to be one of the best? I know you have the record, and it's well deserved and earned. But how would you rate how her skills have translated into MMA?
No, I think she's done well, especially like earlier in her career. She was able to land a lot of submissions. But like I said, I think when it starts getting to a higher level and it's MMA, she's had issues.
And how? Can you explain how? Like, where do you see those issues?
Not being able to get to the fight where she needs it to be, not being able to get the fight to the ground. And like we saw with Amanda Lemos, with Yan Xiaonan, like those girls were able to pull off the wins because of that.
Are you seeing actual mistakes that she's making as she's unable to get to the ground, to get the fight where she wants it to be?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of just it's an issue in MMA in general, where a lot of people are training either striking, wrestling, or jiu-jitsu, which she obviously is doing, separating the sport so much. And you can see that she's not, she doesn't get in deep enough on her shot. She's not well-versed enough in her striking to set up her shots. And it's kind of reckless.
Okay. Sometimes when you have two grapplers who are fighting, it sort of cancels each other out, and it turns into like a striking, a boxing, a kickboxing match. Are you expecting that this time, or are you thinking that both of you are trying to prove your point as to who's the better MMA jiu-jitsu practitioner, and do you think it's going to be more of a grappling match?
I'm not sure where it's going to end up, but I'm just trying to prove I'm the better MMA fighter in general. I don't care if it's on the ground or on the feet or in the clinch, wherever we are. I just want to prove that I'm the better fighter.
What's been the difference for you as of late? 5-0, 6 out of 7 since moving to strawweight. Why has it worked out so well for you since going to 115?
I think I just kind of figured out everything that I needed for my camps. I needed just like the right training partners, right dietitian, right coach. Everything just kind of is coming together. Obviously, like I've had a lot of experience in the UFC. I've had a lot of time, a lot of losses, a lot of wins, a lot of time to learn. And I feel like I'm coming into my own now.
Is there a part of you that wishes you did it sooner, or is part of that success maturation as well? Cage time, just learning reps, things of that nature?
No, I think it was I needed to go through all that to get to where I am. Whenever I got signed to the UFC, I was 3-2 when I got into the Tough House. So I'm like, I had no experience, and I got all my experience on the big stage. So I think I needed to go through all those steps to be ready for this moment.
How did you even get that opportunity? Because usually you don't see fighters, especially in those early days, with a 3-2 record getting into the house.
I think it was a lot of my age. I was 22 years old, and all those 5 fights were all in 1 year. So from the time that I was 18 to I just turned 22, so I was like 21 really. I had 11 amateur fights and I had 5 pro fights. So I think I was just so active, and the girls that I was losing to were getting into the UFC. So I'm like, I think it was just they saw a lot of potential there.
There's potential for some history in this particular fight. Number one, Mackenzie's never been submitted before. Is that something that excites you? Would you like that feather in your cap?
And it's definitely a feather I'd like in my cap. Obviously, I'm trying to push my submission record further. I don't want anybody to be able to touch that. So it's definitely something I would like. But if I get the TKO, I'm going to be just as happy.
Of course. And I was just going to ask you about that record. How much does it mean to you?
It definitely means a lot to me. I want to be in record books as much as possible. I'm trying to chase Charles Oliveira right now. So I'm a long way away from that. So I definitely got to push a lot more.
Yeah, top of my head, you probably know the answer. What is he at, like 15 or something?
I want to say he's more than that.
Yeah, he probably is. There you guys are together.
Yeah, that was in Winnipeg last month, 2 months ago.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Another point of history that can be made. There's never been a female UFC champion from Canada before. How much does that mean to you? I know you don't live in Canada anymore, but I do believe you are quite proud of your Canadian roots. So what does that mean to you?
Oh yeah, that's the big deal for me. I think that's absolutely amazing to be able to represent Canada like that, be the first female champion ever, and to be, I guess, in the likes of GSP there,
Yeah.
I saw somebody wrote on one of my comments, they put that it's GSR, Gillian Savage Robertson.
Oh, yes. I like that. It flows. And by the way, it just occurred to me that I sort of messed up. We should have probably had you on tomorrow, which is Canada Day. But I guess we're having you on a day earlier. Do you celebrate down there? I think you're in Florida, right?
I am. Honestly, I don't really celebrate holidays in general. I'm just always training.
You're just anti-holiday?
I'm not anti-holiday. I'm just, I don't know. I'm always at work. Training's what I love to do more than anything else. So it's like, even on Christmas Day, I'll be in the gym.
Wow. You never
even when I was 18 years old, I was doing that.
Never let your hair down in any way, shape, or form? Figuratively?
Not too much, really. I just I don't know. I like fighting. I like being in the gym, and there's nothing I enjoy more. Even when I go on vacation, I feel uncomfortable. I don't really like it as much. I just like going back home and into the gym.
At the very least, on the way to the gym, you could play a little Shania Twain tomorrow. Some classic, I don't know, Sarah McLachlan, Bryan Adams, something like that. Carly Rae Jepsen, something to just at least acknowledge the home country.
Oh, yeah. I'll make sure to wear red and white all day.
Okay, perfect. And you're already doing it because of your hair. You're already representing. By the way, how often do you have to do that to keep it looking like that?
So I actually, there's a company I work with that celeb viral color. I'm going to mess up the name right now. But they have a shampoo and conditioner that is bright red and helps me keep it red. So I don't really have to do it that much, honestly. It's just my shower's pink.
Serious? So you don't actually have to go to a salon to do it. It turns your hair red.
Yeah, every couple months I go to a salon just to get my roots bleached. But other than that, it keeps my hair pretty red. So we're good.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you've been doing it since you got into the UFC, right?
Yeah, I did it right before my first pro fight.
Wow. What prompted that?
I really don't know. I feel like I'm just someone who makes a lot of I don't know, spur of the moment decisions.
Okay.
So it was just kind of a random decision. And then at this point, I just feel like I'm stuck with it.
And it wasn't because of Canada, right?
No, at that moment, now I feel like it represents well.
Yes.
But whenever I did it, it was just kind of, I don't know, I was 19 and I just wanted to do something.
Now you do say that you don't celebrate, you don't have any fun. Correct me if I'm wrong. You do like a little cannabis. You seem to be a fan of marijuana. Yes, you celebrate 420, all these things. I think you do celebrate that particular date.
I guess I celebrate that day every day, though.
Oh, okay. Because this seems like an acknowledgement of a holiday. You're a bigger fan of 420 than you are July 1st.
Honestly, 420 is probably the only holiday that I kind of celebrate.
That is what is going on, by the way, in that cup over there? What are you doing there?
That is I don't like vapor. I don't know. It was like wax, the smoke vapor in there.
Okay. Is it who's that, by the way? Hello.
This is Gordo.
Hello, Gordo. Boy, I presume?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
my little man.
I love it. I love it. Nice to meet you, Gordo. Welcome to the program. The vapor, is that cannabis in the cup? I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it was. It was actually a dinner party that was weed infused that I was at.
Interesting. Okay. And so do you smoke every day?
Yeah, I do. I guess that's the way I let my hair down.
Okay. Now we're figuring it out. Before training or after training?
Why not both?
Why not both? Okay. What about fight week?
Fight week, I honestly through fight camp, I do tune it down a little bit. I still do smoke all through fight camp though. And fight week, it depends obviously on the commission if we're allowed to or not. And if we are, I usually will smoke up to weigh-in day. And then fight day, I don't like to smoke.
So I actually looked into this via our team, and based on what we found online, Pennsylvania State Athletic Commission permits the use of cannabis, but strictly prohibits athletes from competing under the active influence of the substance. So I guess my interpretation of that is like you can't smoke before the fight, but you can smoke on fight week. Is that fair?
Yeah, typically that is the rule for most states is that you just can't be high walking in the cage, but you can have it in your system.
Still, one of the greatest achievements in MMA history, in my opinion, is Nick Diaz having cannabis in his system and submitting Takanori Gomi versus via Gogo Plata. Do you know about this fight?
Oh yeah, of course. It's legendary.
It's legendary. The fact that he did that high, like he deserves like 2 wins for that.
Exactly.
It's in no way. I don't think it's a performance enhancer. Do you?
I think I don't know. I don't think it's a performance enhancer. I do think it helps recovery with relaxing and things like that, but I don't see the benefits.
Have you been doing that? Right.
Enhancing wise?
Of course. Have you been doing this throughout your career? The before and after and all that?
Yeah, I started smoking when I was probably like 18. So I'm like, it's been, I don't know, through my whole amateur and pro career.
Okay. I was wondering if maybe that was part of the recent success as well, but obviously not.
No, it's been a constant.
How hard are the weight cuts when you're smoking? Because I would imagine, I've heard of munchies and things of that nature. Does that come into play?
I honestly don't get munchies too bad.
Okay.
If I'm eating edibles, I do. And so obviously I stay away from them all through fight camp. I have a couple little like dry bud vapes that I use. So I try to keep it as healthy as possible. And try to do it in the best way to keep my cardio on point too.
And what about the cardio from a fight perspective? Because correct me if I'm wrong, first 5-round fight, and you don't often even go the full. I was trying to find how many you have. You may know off the top of your head, but certainly never in the 4th and 5th round. You've never seen that before, and so how do you feel about that? And what are you doing to prepare for that?
Honestly, it's just felt like, I don't know, home to me since I started doing 5 rounds. It doesn't feel. It doesn't feel any harder than 3 rounds to me. I've been doing 15 rounds every week the last 3 weeks through camp. So it's just felt good.
Okay. So when did you find out about this? Probably like 2 weeks ago, right? So you sort of did it off the bat.
Yeah, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. And just your second ever co-main event, I do believe. And obviously this is a massive one because it's on a numbered card and all that. Are you the type of person to feel the pressure of the moment, the anxiety of the moment, or do you not deal with it that way?
No, it's just another fight to me. It's just another opportunity for me to go out there and perform. And like I said at the beginning, I'm like, honestly, the belt doesn't matter as much as it is about my performance. If I go out there and I don't perform good, but I win the belt, I won't be completely content either.
Really? Even if you like super close, 3 rounds to 2, skinnier teeth, but you're the champion of the world, you're not going to be over the moon?
I'll definitely, like, it's the same with my last fight. I'm like, I was happy with it. I'm happy with the win, but I wish I could have done better. I wasn't content with my performance. And I think that's just me. That's how I'm always going to be until I put out a performance that I'm really proud of. And I have put out some that I am in the past, but if I don't put out a performance that I'm really proud of, I won't be happy win or loss.
Could I ask, if someone's trying to maybe learn more about you, which is the one that you're most proud of? What's the quintessential Gillian Robertson win?
I'm definitely proud of a lot of, like, I don't know, a lot of my recent ones, obviously, I've had, like you said, I'm on a 5-fight win streak right now. I'm definitely proud of a lot of the finishes, obviously. A lot of the decision, like my last one with Amanda, my one with Luana Pinheiro, I'm just not happy with those ones. There's a couple more in there.
Okay. You don't strike me as the type of person to feel this way, but I'll ask anyway because of, some of the things she said yesterday, and there's this jiu-jitsu battle between you guys. Is this at all personal? Do you feel like, okay, like the gauntlet has been thrown down and I want to show her that I'm better at MMA jiu-jitsu than she is?
I don't know. I guess it is. It's always kind of personal. She's got something I want right now. She's got the belt, but that's about all that makes it personal for me is that I want to go out there and I want to win and I want to beat her. But I don't know. She can talk whatever she wants and it doesn't bother me.
Okay. I respect that and love that. By the way, at some point, do you want to go into some competitions? Do you want to see how your jiu-jitsu stacks up with, like pure jiu-jitsu players or no interest in that?
At this moment, no. I just think, honestly, the games of jiu-jitsu and MMA have went down two completely different roads as of the last couple of years where jiu-jitsu is so leg lock heavy. And I just don't, I don't even play that kind of game anymore. I'm like, honestly, I couldn't even tell you how to open a guard because I do it with throwing punches now all the time or throwing elbows. So I'm like, it's a lot of jiu-jitsu things that I honestly haven't trained jiu-jitsu in at least 5+ years at this point. All my jiu-jitsu has been MMA based.
Okay. By the way, speaking of crazy jiu-jitsu and submissions and the leg in particular, did you see the Suliev stretch on Saturday? That was nuts,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. I want to say that's probably the third in UFC history. I'm like, I know they're rare. I'm like, always seeing them. It's something unique.
Yes. Is there one sub in particular that's a unique one that you love, that you kind of, like Dustin Poirier had the jumping guillotine. We've seen a couple twisters back in the day. This Suliev stretch, is there one that you'd love to pull off that would be the ultimate for you, the Gogo Plata as well as a rare one?
I guess an ultimate one, like if I could pick any, would be like, it would be something dumb like a wrist lock probably.
Oh, wow.
Because that would be just cool to pull off in a UFC fight.
Old school.
Be the first ever.
Yeah. Love that. Do you do that in the gym?
I actually have one that's pretty sneaky that I do get sometimes.
Wow.
But I don't know, it's hard with MMA gloves, but I would probably try it.
Okay. Who, in your opinion, is the greatest jiu-jitsu practitioner as far as women's MMA is concerned? Who's the gold standard?
I don't know. It's hard not to say myself.
Yeah, say yourself, Gillian. Say yourself. I was setting you up for that. Puff your chest out. Hold your head high.
I'm thinking of other girls, but yeah, I think it is. I think it's hard not to say me. Like we talked about earlier, I do have the most submissions. I have the most finishes. All of those finishes coming on the ground. So it's like, even if I'm not getting the submission, I'm still getting a TKO sitting on top of you. So I think I am the most dangerous woman once we are on the floor.
What do you think of Ronda's sub against Gina?
I think I kind of expected it to go like that, but I'm happy for them both. They made a lot of money. Yes.
And legends, right? Pioneers, trailblazers.
Oh, yeah. You can't take respect away from either one of those girls with all that they've done for the sport.
Do you think Gina could have done anything differently, or was that like once she had her down, it was kind of over?
Yeah, I think that, I don't know, it's just too hard to catch. Yeah. Ronda is just so advanced in that position, and it's so hard I think they had like a year or something to get ready for the fight, and it's hard to catch up in 1 year.
Well, this is great. Are you hoping, obviously you want to win, but like, would you bring the belt back to Canada? Would you go on a whole tour there? Is that part of the, there hasn't been a champion in Canada in quite some time, as we've discussed.
I don't know about a whole tour, but I would definitely bring the belt back to Canada. Again, we said it earlier, I'm coming for Wei Li after I win this belt. Okay. So I know I need to get back in the gym. I don't have time to be doing like a press tour, traveling around the country, doing anything like that. I got to get back to work.
You'll be going to bed at 6 p.m. when you become champion because Wei Li's coming.
Exactly. Got to get ready for it.
I love it. Well, great fight. Both of you are fantastic. Great main event as well. Islam Makhachev and Gary. Do you have a pick in that one?
I think it's hard to take it away from Islam right now. I'm like, he's so dominant.
Amazing fight city, pretty close to the northeast of Canada as well. So hopefully you'll have some backing there. Mackenzie's great as champion as well, and you're getting your opportunity. Great story, 9 years in the UFC. Very happy for you, Gillian. Congratulations on the opportunity. Good luck in training. And happy Canada Day to you. Did you know Canada's in the final 16 of the World Cup? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I don't really follow soccer. My family does, though, so they let me know.
Okay. Well, a lot of great things happening for the Canadians. Shout out to you. Well done. And good luck. Thanks so much for joining us today.
And happy Canada Day to you, too.
Thank you so much. There she is, the great Gillian Robertson. They call her Savage GSR. We go from GSP to GSR. I love that. And I think we're doing a pretty nice job of selling this fight to all of you, no? I mean, everyone's talking about Islam and Ian. And rightfully so. It's a fantastic main event, fantastic title fight. But I'm into this one.
This is so great.
Yeah. And Nate would appreciate her affinity for, what would you call it? The wacky tobacco?
Cannabis, as you called it?
Is that not what it is?
I mean, it is from 1993.
What's a sort of professional way of calling it?
Just call it weed.
The weed? Stay off the weed.
The marijuana.
Marijuana, Mary Jane. PRJs, wacky tobacco. Flower. Why I've never heard that one.
I'm not surprised.
MFer. All right, still to come, we'll check in with our old friend Mark Ramundi. Pete Carroll's going to join us. Lots of news and notes to get to, but as I said earlier in the day and yesterday as well, relatively quiet weekend coming up in the world of combat sports, but there is a massive boxing event, so no real MMA to speak of. But all eyes will be on Cleveland, Ohio, in particular the CSU Wolstein Center, because one of their own is coming home, A, along with his brothers, B, but also this is a massive, massive card for the fight game for DAZN because it's their first on TNT here in the United States. So that's linear television, 245 if you have DirecTV, airing some great fighters, great fights, up-and-comers, stars, champions. This is what the sport of boxing needs. And the man who the entire card is centered around is Ohio's own Abdullah Mason. We had him on the show back in November, and this is his next fight, title defense, massive opportunity for him to really plant his flag as one of the youngest stars and brightest young, I'd say, like superstars in the sport of boxing. And so he's kind enough to join us right here and now to talk about it all. There he is. Abdullah Mason is here. Hello, Abdullah. How are you, my man? Thanks for joining us.
Yo, what up, Ariel? I'm good. How you?
It's great to have you on again. I appreciate the fact that it's a very busy time for you. You're probably being pulled in a million different directions. You wanted this. You told us about this. You said you wanted to come home. What has it been like? I know it's early in the week, but you're the guy. It's all centered around you. Stressful, people pulling you in a million different places. How's it been?
It's been good, man. It's been focused. It's definitely, all the things you just mentioned would be fighting at home. It's a lot more coming at me, but I just handed off to my brothers, my father, my team to make sure that I stay focused on my performance.
Are you feeling that pressure?
A little bit, but mainly I'm feeling that my city of Cleveland, Ohio is behind me all the way. I feel the support and I feel them just as excited as I am for this fight night. So, I'm just ready to get it cracking and make it happen.
And I'm happy that the Cleveland sports fans have something to be excited about. Obviously, Knicks bouncing them from the playoffs. Sorry about that. I hope that wasn't like weird. Is that as a Knicks fan, we didn't mean to sweep you guys. We were just en route to winning the championship ourselves.
Come on, man. Yo. Hey, don't worry, man. I'm gonna show off for Cleveland on the 4th.
Okay, good. I'm happy to hear that.
It's gonna be just as big for the land as a championship would.
Okay, yes, 10 years after their championship. Can I ask, when you found out that it's going to be in Cleveland and it's going to be on July 4th and it's going to be on TNT, that you're the guy that they're putting in that spot, how did you react? How did that make you feel?
It makes me feel like I'm doing all the right things, at this point in my career coming up, making all the right, just staying focused and having the right performances when I get in the ring. Everything is centered around what I do when I step in there. So as long as I'm doing that, then everything else gonna fall in place. And that's what it feels like, this date, this homecoming and everything, and the fight being on TNT, the first time boxing being on T on TNT at that fact is that it just lets me know that I'm doing everything right, and I just have to stay focused and keep doing it.
Yeah, it's a huge honor and a huge distinction. And I'd say it's really well earned and deserved. The original main event, as you know, was supposed to be you versus Joe Cordina. He gets pulled, no visa. In enters Albert Bell. When you heard about the Cordina, refusal of getting his visa, were you worried that this big opportunity would be taken away from you?
Not so much worried. I mean, I know that it's a part of boxing, so there are times where this happens, and you have times where you have to replace certain opponents. And, I just knew that this is something that I had to be ready for. As soon as I heard the call that Cordina may not be able to make it, I just knew that I had to stay focused. Whoever was going to be able to step in there with me. So Albert Bill is that guy, and I'm ready to face him.
Bell is from nearby Toledo, Ohio. Is this someone that you crossed paths with, that you know, that you saw, that you thought about fighting?
Yeah, I definitely crossed paths with him. He was at 130. I sparred with him a few times, and he moved up to my division. And I definitely didn't expect this, this fight to be happening. I didn't see myself fighting him, but everything happens for a reason. It's a great opportunity for him, and it's gonna save the day. Me still having a fight card and me being able to put on a performance and still perform July 4th, is because he was able to step in as a last minute opponent. So I'm definitely grateful for him being able to step in, and I'm just ready to get it on.
So we just showed the photo of you guys after a session. Is this awkward for you at all? Like, how would you describe your relationship with him?
It's a little awkward. We definitely, that's definitely my guy. That's definitely my guy for sure. We've been in the gym, had conversations. I'm cool with his team, cool with him, his pops, and that's definitely my guy. But boxing is boxing. He got the call. He accepted the fight. So we're gonna get it on until after that. We could go back to being guys after the fight.
Can I ask, when's the last time you sparred him?
It was sometime last year.
Oh, so not that long ago, though.
Yeah, not that long ago. It was sometime last year. It was earlier on, I believe.
And how many times do you think you've sparred? Like, how many rounds?
How many rounds? I don't know. We've had a few sessions together. It was more than 3, 4.
Okay. So do you feel like you have, intimate knowledge of who this guy is? Sometimes you go into a fight, you don't really know who your opponent is other than watching tape. You've been in there with him before.
Yeah, I've been in there with him. I definitely feel like this is going to be a fight the fans are going to enjoy. It's a great step up from the rest of my opponents that I've fought. He has some good skills, and whoever has the better skills that night will win. I believe that's going to be me.
Is there any part of you that, are you the type of guy that needs to, you don't strike me as this person, but I'll ask anyway, dislike your opponent, have any sort of beef with them, and is it weird that you kind of seem to like him?
No, I don't got no beef at all, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we in a sport for what we in it for. And, I just enjoy the sport of boxing. And while I'm in it, I want to be the best at what I do. So, if that calls for me fighting some guys I'm familiar with and that I'm real cool with, then, I guess I got to do. So, and at the end of the day, that's to be enjoy. Me stepping in the ring, fighting a formidable opponent who has a great skill set. They're going to be able to see both of us, display our skills.
I've said time and again that I think that Top Rank has one of, if not the best, young rosters in the game. We saw some of that on display this past weekend with the likes of Emiliano Vargas and Xander Zayas doing their thing. Did you watch the Zayas Boots fight?
Yeah, I did.
I
did for sure.
Can I ask, because I've seen some reputable names in the sport say that they felt like Xander Zayas quit. Is that a fair thing to say?
I wouldn't say he quit at all. Xander Zayas has, from round 1 to the time where he took that knee, he was in a fight. He had great fundamentals, and he took the knee from a combo that Boots was. He was coming at him. He wasn't going to stop. So it was a smart decision to take that knee. And then I believe, well, from what I see, it seemed like his corner may have waved it off when the ref looked back. He waved the fight off. So it seemed like it could have been a corner, but Zayas respected that decision. He knows he's a young fighter. He knows he has a long way to go in his career, and why not be smart about it? He's still a fighter. And he still has all his abilities after he steps out of the ring. He's still healthy, so, He's just in there to step in there another day, and he's gonna be right back.
I think it's absolutely absurd to say that and unfair. I thought the heart that he showed was amazing, and I think he's an even bigger star as a result of taking that fight, even in a loss.
Absolutely.
When you see that as a youngster as well, I think more fans want to see fighters like go for it, win or lose. Do you subscribe to the same theory as far as your career is concerned?
Absolutely. I mean, that's boxing. That's boxing. So that comes with it. You have different fighters. You have different styles for a reason. And that's what makes boxing what it is. Some fighters get in there, they want to take a little more risk than other fighters. And some fighters have a little more heart. I mean, everybody got heart when they step in there. But some fighters like to show it a little more. And some fighters like to, play it a little safer. So that's what makes boxing entertaining. And when you get two fighters that want to get it, that want to go in there and they want to rumble, that's what attracts the fans.
What did you think of Vargas?
He had a great performance. I liked his performance for sure.
He goes to the body. He's young. He's powerful. He seems to have all the boxes checked, right?
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I would say so. I mean, he definitely he's well-rounded.
You think maybe you cross paths with him? I know you're in different weight classes right now, but maybe as you get older?
I'll say why not? I say why not? If that's what boxing calls for, then I'm definitely open to step in the ring with him and anybody else that I creep up on, in any division. So right now is I said lightweight, and Albert Bell is the next guy. So I'm prepared to face Albert Bell, and anybody else after that I'll be prepared to face him. But I feel like that'd be a huge fight, me versus Emiliano. That'd be a huge fight in the future.
Massive. Can I ask? You beat Albert, and I know you're expecting to. Do you think you'll go back to Joe Cordina, or do you want bigger names after that? What are you thinking?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Joe, I don't want to say nothing about Joe, but, he being a little slow.
What does that mean?
I mean, I was prepared to face him, a little earlier in the year as well, before this July 4th date. And it ended up being July 4th. This is where it ended up. And, I guess this is the time where we were finally everything is supposed to go down. Then this fell out as well. So, I'm not going to slow down. So we'll see.
What about Keyshawn? Has he been talked about? Is that still a thing, or have you moved on from that?
I mean, my thing is, anybody could get it for sure. But boxing will determine who I cross paths with. If you have a title, you have something worth me taking from you, definitely, let's get in there.
Okay.
For sure. So if you're in my division, let's get in there. Right now, the people you're talking about, I'm open to everything, but none of these guys are in my division. So, I'm open to it in the future for sure.
Shakur Stevenson.
I'm open to everything for sure.
That would be something.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody would be an amazing fight. Abdullah Mason versus, I feel like anybody. It would make a great fight for boxing because, I feel like I have an amazing skill set. And I'm at a level where anybody steps in the ring with me, I'll be able to display my skills and come on top.
And to share this stage with your brothers as well, who are also on this card, what does this mean for you and the family?
It's something that we've all, not just my family and I, but the city of Cleveland, since we turned pro, they've been anticipating a homecoming. So for us to be on a card together, it's something we all been excited for. We've been talking about it. Cleveland been like, yo, man, I can't wait till the Mason brothers are fighting on the same card. Anytime I fight, they be like, man, when your brothers gonna fight? When your brothers gonna fight? So this is that night where we finally get to come back home, and it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a huge crowd. Everybody's gonna be full of that Cleveland energy, because you don't get world championship fights in Cleveland.
No.
First in a long time. So I'm prepared to just have fun and enjoy myself in the ring.
Will you watch their fights beforehand, or do you try to block that out?
No, I definitely watch for sure. I definitely gonna watch. I don't know exactly how it's gonna go, but I'm gonna definitely watch their fights. I got to.
That doesn't, I've talked to fighters who say they don't want to fight on the same card of their brothers because they get too emotional, they get distracted.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about it. When your brothers are in a ring, it's more nerve-wracking than when 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 you're in the ring yourself. So like whenever I'm in the ring, yeah, sometimes I get a little nervous here and there. But when my brothers are in there, that's when I'm really like, I'm really antsy. Every punch and every time they slip or every time they let a combo go, I'm nervous. I'm feeling it in there like I'm in the ring too. So that's one thing I got to make sure I just keep my composure the whole night. And we just all looking to come out on top.
Last one for you. You're probably focused on the fight, obviously, but just about 2 hours ago, we got news that LeBron is leaving the Lakers. As a proud Ohio native, you want him to come back for one last run?
Yep. I mean, why not? Why not put on for the land again? We open to anybody who's going to come to Cleveland and represent in a way that, people will be tuned in on a worldwide stage.
Well, for now, you're doing that. And you're getting an amazing opportunity, man. I'm really, really happy for you. And I love that they picked you to headline this card and they're bringing it back to your city. So well done. Congrats on that. And good luck. And I urge everyone to check it out this Saturday on TNT.
Thank you. You going to be there, Ariel?
I'm not going to be there. I would love to. I would love to.
Yeah.
One of these days, I will be at one of your fights, hopefully in the near future.
If you could come to this one, I got a ticket for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, man. That means a lot. Thank you, Abdullah.
Sure.
All the best to you and good luck to you and your family and your brothers this weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ariel. Take care.
There he is, Abdullah Mason. What a guy. I got to say, boxing is just dripping with just young, fun, talented fighters. And Top Rank, again, I keep banging the drum. As far as American fighters are concerned, I'm going off the top of my head here. You've got Abdullah Mason. You've got Keyshawn Davis, Shushu Carrington also on this card as well, Shaki Foster, who we had on the show recently, Emiliano Vargas, Xander Zayas. It's a real, like, the zone nailed it getting Top Rank. And we're getting cards like this now. Part of the problem I think with the zone recently is that they just had, they had an abundance of talent from Europe, UK, Matchroom. Obviously they get Queensberry, they add Boxer. It was just a lot of, I thought, European cards, which are great. I love the European cards. We love the European fight scene. But you needed that American flavor. And like the talk of the demise of Top Rank was highly, highly exaggerated. Now, did they need the deal? Was it as good as their ESPN deal? No. Do they need to figure that out? I hope that they profit off of this TNT partnership as well. But I'm such a big fan of these young fighters that they have on the roster, and I'm forgetting some as well. So much respect to what they're doing, and much respect to Abdullah Mason fighting this Saturday. So if you're looking for fighting on Saturday, once again, what time does that card start? Is it on the poster there? Let me see if I could get it. On July 4th. I love that. Love that. One of the members of the broadcast team, by the way, is Terrence Bud Crawford. How about that? And he's going to join us on tomorrow's show to help talk about all of that, preview it, and of course, he's always in the news. And he was talking recently. Let me see if I could find this.
Y'all see them, though?
Yeah, Terrence. 8 p.m. main card start. 6 bouts. CSU Wolstein Center. Yeah, there it is, 8 p.m. Is CSU Cleveland State University? I do believe. CSU, yeah. Some other boxing news, my friends, to get into. Actually, a whole host of boxing news. It was reported, breaking news, Frank. Actually, I have a lot of boxing news here. Okay. Tyson Fury has a fight, believe it or not. And his next fight is not going to be against Anthony Joshua. For some reason, he needs another tune-up fight after the Makhmudov fight back in April. We remember that, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It was just announced that it's going to be Tyson Fury against, wait for it, Marius Walk. Now, this poster that was released is one that has a Netflix logo, bottom left, but as our guy Darshan reports, and I've confirmed as well, this will not air on Netflix. Not sure why it's there. Now, also worth noting, this fight is happening July 24th in Thailand. Now, July 24th is not a Saturday, because I know that July 11th is a Saturday, then the 18th, 25th, so that's a Friday in Thailand. Now, who the hell is Marius Walk? Marius Walk's last fight was against 3 smaller gentlemen in Poland, I do believe. It was one of those, I don't know if we can show you the, yeah, we can't show it to you. 39-13. His last fight happened in April of 2026. He fought in a modified rules boxing match against Kamil Bilecki. He won via uppercut in the first round. In October of 2025, Marius, who, by the way, fought Vladimir Klitschko back in 2012, he fought, 3 men in a cage match. So I guess, was this MMA? It looks like they're wearing gloves here in Poland. 3 guys. And he KO'd all of them, I believe.
It was one of those 3-on-1s that they love to do where it's just 3 amateur guys try to beat up 1 professional guy. There was a shot, one of the guys goes for a kick, and it's just like 5 feet from Walk's face.
These dudes. Yeah, and none of them look like fighters. Like they look like us fighting out there. I'm watching this. This is bizarre.
By the way, this should probably be Fury Walk 2, by the way.
They fought
Huey Fury.
Oh, that's right.
His first cousin.
Well done. Oh my God, I'm watching the highlights here. Like one of the guys throws a kick and he just goes like whoop. I love these types of fights where they have like the big logos plastered on the chest and the back. This is not, this is work or shoot. I think it's a shoot, to be honest. This is so weird. Anyway, this is the guy. He's fighting another. So we're getting, the nice thing about it is the fights line up. It's going to be Tyson on the 24th, and it's going to be, they're going to be back-to-back, actually. 25th, right? AJ's the 25th against Christian Prenga. So at the very least, we can't say that the dates, the schedules, all that stuff and more do not line up. So there you have it. Tyson Fury has a fight. It's a weird one.
Elephant shit.
Some might call it that. In other boxing news, they had a press conference earlier today in Ireland to announce the undercard for the Katie Taylor Swan Song retirement fight. We showed you some of those pictures, posters. We talked about the Ian Gary press conference that happened afterwards. After the press conferences, Eddie Hearn spoke to the media, and he did say that he was en route in 45 minutes to head to the much talked about Peace Summit with Turki Al-Sheikh and Nick Khan of TKO. I saw the headline. I haven't seen the clip. Let's watch it and react.
After the boots fight, you could see the excitement in your eyes. Yeah. In the moment, it might have been heat at the moment. You said you're not going to the supposed peace talk to me. Is there any update on that with the conversation?
The peace, I'm getting on a plane in about 45 minutes to go and see Turkey and Nick Khan, who's Dana's boss, to see how those conversations are going to go. So again, there's a lot to discuss, and I'm giving, obviously Turkey's our friend, he's our partner. I'm not going to say no to the meeting, but right now I don't see the need for peace, if you like. There's nothing personal, it's all very competitive. I'm being driven at the moment to work as hard as I can and produce the best schedule for the zone. So in that respect, I don't think we should necessarily want peace. I think the fight fans are enjoying it, and Dana's probably enjoying it. He likes a good scrap and a bit of competition. Apparently I'm not competition, but I've got a funny feeling I will be.
Interesting. Okay, let's bring in the guys here. And no GC, he's at the World Cup. We do have old friend Mark Raimondi. Okay, we're doing Mark dirty here. What's going on? Can we not zoom in on him a little bit? What's happening? Mark, what's going on?
I don't really know, but I think it's because of this logo. I think that's why I'm getting I'm getting the shaft. I'm getting the shaft here at Yahoo.
PT,
and I don't appreciate it.
PT, meet Mark. Mark, meet.
I know Mark. Mark, right? Let's not talk about this silly fighting thing. Bijan Robinson, where are we at? Break London. Come on, give me the lowdown.
Bijan.
Yeah, it's not like mustard. PT.
Listen, man. Listen, he's mustard in my books. That means you're a cool guy around here. Bijan, it is. Tell me. What's going on?
Bijan Robinson, I was telling Ariel yesterday that Bijan Robinson is probably the nicest athlete that I've ever covered in any sport. He is just a sweetheart of a guy. He really is like an angel. It's the craziest thing. He's a massively talented individual, one of the most talented in the entire NFL, yet he really is just a down-to-earth, nice gentleman.
Fight fan as well?
Not so much a fight fan. Definitely grew up likes his boxing. He went to the Gervonta Davis fight with former Atlanta Falcons coach Raheem Morris last year, and he did grow up watching WWE pro wrestling. I was trying at one point the last couple of seasons to get Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, a very good 1-2 combination with the Falcons running backs. I was trying to get them to use a wrestling nickname for like their 1-2 combo.
Oh,
because over in Detroit with Gibbs and I'm forgetting his
Montgomery.
Montgomery, yeah,
wow.
exactly, Montgomery.
Wait, did PT just throw in a Montgomery?
Yeah.
I don't even know who he's talking about.
David Montgomery and
David Montgomery.
They were Sonic and Knuckles.
Okay.
Like Thunder and Lightning. So I was trying to convince Bijan and Tyler Algier to be Axe and Smash Demolition.
Ooh,
yeah.
I love that.
Or the Road Warriors, which I didn't even realize that
Look
I was
at
going
that
to say
shirt
that
right
today.
there.
But I don't think it worked out. Unfortunately, couldn't convince them.
And by the way, in case anyone's listening and wondering, why are we asking Mark Ramundi, our old friend, about the Atlanta Falcons, lest we forget, beat writer for ESPN, covering all things Atlanta Falcons, including this upcoming season, and old friend of ours, in the trenches type of friend, heyday of MMA fighting, when we were the Golden State Warriors, when we were truly a dynasty, dare I say.
The last time that I spoke to Pizzi on a video call was my video going away party from MMAfighting.com in 2019.
Wow.
And Pizzi logged in from an Irish wedding.
What?
And this man, I have a screen recording of this on my laptop. This man was so effed up,
jovial
when he logged in.
High on life?
So just another day for Pizzi.
And we have that video right now.
Oh.
I wish. I wish. But no, that's the last time that we spoke on video call was that was 7 years ago. And I'll never forget, because Pizzi was at a wedding and he could have very easily just said, hey, I can't make this virtual going away party, but he logged in and he was sloshed. But I appreciated it very much that he came on to the call.
I'm jealous of you. By the way, what's all the commotion back there? Is everything okay? What's Rick, you all right?
Frank's having like a full conversation. You heard when I joked about the video, yes?
No. What do you mean? Like literally 20 seconds ago?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
of course.
Yeah, Frank's doing something weird. I'm not sure what's going on.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're actually live. This is live.
Wait,
He's doing like a
hit
bit.
the record button?
Frank, I was going to say, I'm envious of Mark because I've never been on the receiving end of a PT slosh. I even wrote to him, by the way, on the side, Rick, and I was like, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to play the AI clip, but I think he's preoccupied or something.
Yeah, something's weird's going on.
Is everything okay, Frank?
Like some AI shit.
No, you can't do it now.
Half of what Rick said went to air and half of it didn't. And I look back and he's like completely leaned over on his microphone. I'm like, bro, you need to push.
I heard all of it.
All right.
Yeah.
What
This
did
is
he
a bit
say?
too inside boxing here, lads. Let's move it on. Yeah, great
Podcast
podcast, by the way.
Inside Boxing,
on the
or-
Unbound Network. Great podcast. Yeah, come on.
Okay, all right. I mean, we're working through the kinks here. We're not ESPN.
My audio
Mark.
guy's telling me the audio's not going out, but everybody
It
else
sounds
heard
great.
me.
It sounds great. Let's have a conversation.
Talk to
All right?
Frank.
None of this is going to air, Rick.
Talk to Frank.
Is that true? None of it's going to air?
Are you guys
It's all
okay?
in there.
Wait,
Are
I
we
don't
live?
understand.
What's happening here?
I don't either.
Is Rick? Let
Am
me
I on
ask.
the show?
Is this the way of Frank telling Rick to shut the F up already?
Guys,
I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on.
chat, can you let me know if you can hear Rick? Because Frank is
I
saying
can't wait
you
for them to
can't.
pretend they can. It's gonna be great.
Let
Bring in
me
the trolls.
know, chat.
I could see his lips moving.
Okay, weird. Mark, can I ask you?
Is this what you guys do every
this is pretty much it. Isn't it
Monday,
great?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here? Yeah.
It's fun.
Thursdays as well. Crack on Fridays. Peace
Boys
Summit.
in the back.
You hear all that stuff with Peace Summits and all this. Do you come on? You got to miss the fight game. It's got to be pretty boring on the NFL side. You don't get Peace Summits in the NFL, right?
I don't even know what you're talking. What is a peace summit? What is
You're
this?
that out of it,
What is that? I don't even know what you're talking about.
bro. They're having a Peace Summit. Turkey in the middle, Nick Khan on the left,
Oh,
Dana
that whole
White
deal.
to his side.
Ariel,
Eddie
the
Hearn.
next thing you're going to tell me is that the UFC had a fight at the White House.
They had
this
a
is
fight at the White
ridiculous.
House.
I mean, come on.
Imagine
Let's get
that.
real. Let's get realistic here.
Do you honestly? Do you look at the insanity of the fight game and say, like, God, I'm so happy I'm not there anymore? Do you miss it? Do you kind of feel like, yeah, I wish I could sprinkle a little bit here? Like, because you're in the corporate world of the NFL, and we're in the absolute insane, batshit crazy circus world.
It is a crazy world, and I think that when we're in it, we don't even realize how crazy it is. It's only like I'll give you like an example of, I don't even know if I can say this, but I was in the Falcons locker room. I think it was like the 2024 season, and someone was asking me, one of the players was asking me why hasn't Hamzat Chimaev gotten a title shot yet? And of course he has since then. This was 2024, and I had to explain him with his visa issues and ties to Kadyrov, and the player was just looking at me like, what are you talking about, like Chechen warlord, like what, like it just didn't make sense. And then that was like one of the times that I realized, like, oh, this is a completely different world, a different universe, and I have to try to explain some of this crazy stuff to those in that world.
I was peppering him guys yesterday with all kinds of questions about being a beat reporter and the access that they get and the locker room and the relationships with the players. I find it fascinating because our world is so like there's no like Football Writers Association equivalent. We tried. Lord knows we tried.
I think I might still be the treasurer.
There you are.
of the MMA Journalists Association.
Yeah, we certainly tried.
Can I sign up too late or no?
We can. We'll send you an email.
I'll take your money, Rick.
Yeah.
I mean, I have no problem taking your money. I'm
All
not
right,
sure
I'll
what
pay
happened to
my
it.
dues.
I have a good combat related story from the Falcons locker room.
Okay,
Last season, Kirk Cousins was one of the quarterbacks with the Falcons, right? I'm sure you guys know that name, and he was trying to get his sons into wrestling, into amateur wrestling. He was looking for a place in Georgia to bring his sons to train in wrestling for the first time. They never did it before, and because he wanted to have his sons in as many sports as possible, and he felt like wrestling was a really good one, teach them grittiness and resilience and so on and so forth. So he asked me, knowing that I came from the MMA world to cover the Falcons, he asked me if I knew any places locally in Georgia where he could take his sons. And my answer in the immediate was not really, because that's not what I did, not what we did, but I told them, I don't know right now, but I can make a few phone calls and shoot a few texts over. So I did. So I texted Daniel Cormier, I texted Chael Sonnen, and then he texted Ben Askren. And they came back to me with a list of the best wrestling gyms for youth in Georgia. And turns out that Kirk Cousins started taking his son to one of those places in Georgia, and he has since spoken about it publicly in interviews. So now I feel like I can talk about it. But yes, it was an assist from DC and Shale to get Kirk Cousins' sons into a wrestling program in Georgia.
Look at that, tying it all together. Well done, Mark, helping out the youth. Do you think eventually you'll come back, or do you think you're done with combat? What do you think?
What is the word in the phrase in pro wrestling? Never say never. Never say never. I don't know. What the future might hold. I didn't know that I would be covering the NFL right now. I thought that I'd probably be covering combat sports forever until I retired. So you just never know. Things could change in a split second.
And of course, yesterday we introduced you to intern Josh.
Yeah.
Josh the Mark, as others have called him.
What happened there?
Oh, did you happen to see that, Pete? When he corrected it within 15 seconds?
I was in transit.
Yeah,
okay, yesterday I was on a motorbike.
Yeah, we saw that.
It was a big deal, massive things. All right, go ahead.
Mr. VIP.
Mr. VIP, doing other shoots.
Not a moped either.
People, seeing other
contrary to belief. 1000cc motorbike.
NBD. In any event, what did you make of young intern Josh, Mark?
Very enthusiastic young fella.
Yes. Okay.
Knows his wrestling.
Gosh.
He was wearing yesterday, maybe today too, a New Japan Pro Wrestling windbreaker.
Oh yeah.
Which I was impressed by. He has Misawa and Kobashi stickers on his laptop.
He knows ball, right?
He knows ball. He knows ball. Despite of messing up and mixing up Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, which is somewhat of a cardinal sin, if I'm being honest.
Tough.
Right, even
Pete
knows that was a bad one. That was worse than me not remembering David Montgomery's name. But overall, I had a nice chat with him, and I think he's got a bright future.
Okay.
I believe the children are our future, and he's one of them.
Wow. Okay, that's very kind. I'm sure these words mean a lot to young Josh, who actually
sounds like it's like a make-a-wish. He's just
keep going, kid.
He purchased your book, the book that came out last year, Say Hello to the Bad Guys, and wouldn't you know it, 30th anniversary of the NWO forming, in about a week or so?
About a week and a half, yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, no, about a week, July 7th, 1996, 30 years later. 30 years on from the Hulk Hogan heel turn and the formation of the NWO. How about that? I feel real old.
You know what's crazy about the book? I mean, obviously, since it came out, Hogan passes. You've got the documentary, all that stuff. Also, there's the Cena heel turn that is compared to the Hogan heel turn, which I think anyone who said this won't be as big has been proven right. It wasn't as big. It just feels like when you came out with that book, you could have never known, but a lot of things happened in the news that would bring us back to that book. Do you know what I mean? In that era.
Yeah, and I think the NWO is one of those things that people always kind of harken back to because it was such a pivotal point in time for the wrestling industry. It was the catalyst for that big boom period in the 90s. So it's not a crazy surprise that there would be news around it even 30 years from the formation like we are now. So not a complete surprise, but it has been nice to get the opportunity to talk more about the NWO, to fill in. We were talking about intern Josh. He was not alive when the NWO formed.
Crazy, right?
He was born in, what did you say, 2005, Josh? Yeah. So he was -9 when the NWO formed, and he told me that going back and reading about this from the 90s was, has been very cool for him because he knows wrestling very well from the time he started watching until now, but is not as up on the older stuff, the 80s, the 90s, and for you and I, Ariel, that was the golden days.
Oh yeah,
the 90s was like that was everyone was watching in the 90s, and it was really like a halcyon time for pro wrestling.
Could you imagine people were saying this time last year that the Cena heel turn was as big as Hogan?
I was saying it. Gosh. I came on this show last year.
I don't want to pin it on you.
And I said that it was bigger, and I was completely wrong. But I stand by my statement. It was really it was the follow-up that failed. The angle itself was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. Mainstream. But the follow-up left a lot to be desired.
Like within 48 hours, it felt like it was falling, right? Like it wasn't working.
And by WrestleMania, it was like, really?
Yeah, and then they pulled the plug by SummerSlam.
It was done, and they just out of nowhere. There was really no reasoning for him to go back babyface. They just said, you know what? Screw it. We're just gonna do it.
Yeah. Change his music. Let's go back. By the way, Pete, did you happen to see the latest from John Cena? He just posted this very recently.
Nobody can see John Cena, mate. Don't try and trick me.
All right. He's going back for round 2 of the old hair treatment.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was a successful situation.
Yeah. Why round 2?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
He's getting dialed up now. Everyone's getting dialed up.
Yeah. But
Mark.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, Pete.
Sorry.
Have you considered going to Turkey, Pete, and getting
Look at that head of hair.
I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? It's getting a bit. See this? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is? Oh, just looking at myself now. Mark, I just want to say I'm not a big wrestling man, but
sure.
I read the shit out of your book. I absolutely loved it. Right.
That's a good thing, right? That's I just checking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And it was what I did was because we didn't have WCW on TV over here, or maybe we did, and my parents didn't pay for the package. I was going back on YouTube and watching the things play out as I'm reading it, and it was absolutely brilliant. A friend of mine had a heart attack around Christmas, and he was like, "Will you bring me in a book?" Brought him in the book, and all the time texting me, "This is absolutely tremendous. This is making the stay so much better for me." So even as a guy who wouldn't know much about wrestling, absolutely brilliant. I think I read the whole thing in a couple of days, honestly. A week I think it was. But absolutely brilliant. And how it ties in with Trump, everything like that, I absolutely loved it.
So you actually gave it to a friend who was in the hospital?
Yeah, he had a heart attack around Christmas, and
Is he
was a
doing
big
okay
wrestling
now?
fan back in the day. He's doing great. Shout out Paul.
So
Absolutely
are you
lovable.
saying that Say Hello to the Bad Guys might have healed?
Saved his life?
Wow.
Saved his life.
I love how we got there.
Put that on the Amazon reviews.
I love how we got there.
You know.
Put that on the Amazon reviews. And if you want to get Say Hello to the Bad Guys, perhaps, I don't know, I was going to say a July 4th present. People don't really give out July 4th present. I was trying to find a holiday, but
Father's Day just
Start a new
passed, so
trend.
we're a little late for that. But
yeah. Just out of the kindness of your heart, you could get it over at Amazon, Amazon.com, things of that nature. Where else do people get books?
Barnes and
Noble,
Noble.
of course. All your usual spots where you want to get your books. Earlier in the day, Pete, we were talking about the press conference in Ireland. Did you happen to catch the undercard announcement for the Katie Taylor Swan Song fight?
I did, and I took to Twitter, as Chuck Mendenhall likes to say, and I said, "Wow, these I really like these. There's some bangers on this card, which I do think there is. Dave Allen and Mr. Carty, no Carty, no party, fantastic.
Kind of love that one. Not gonna lie,
love it. Absolutely, it's a banger. I'm not having it. I absolutely love it. Paddy Donovan against McKenna, two great personalities of Irish boxing. Absolutely love that fight. Molly McCann's on the card as well. I think that's brilliant. She's actually a distant relative of Katie Taylor. I heard you mention that earlier. O'Lanian's going to be on the card, a guy who people think will be the future of Irish boxing, a big heavyweight, who Mick Conlon, right, once told me, just on an aside, is related to the great James Joyce, like a blood relative of James Joyce, the amazing Irishman. So I'm like, this is great. Not only are you having this historic moment, you're having Katie's last fight, but you're getting all these recognizable names from Irish boxing on the card. And Allen and Carty, as I said, is an absolute banger. And I'm personally, even though Donovan's going to be a heavy favourite, I love the idea of fighting McKenna. McKenna's a great personality too, well-known quantity in Belfast. I think it's great. Put it up. Oh, the cards. Like 40 quid they asked for the tickets for Croke Park. For Katie Taylor's last thing, and everyone's telling me, oh no, blah, blah, blah. Someone even mentioned, can you believe they're charging this much for the card? I'm like, mate, it was €40. What are you talking about? I think it's great. I think it's an amazing showcase for Irish boxing. Oh, listen, I'm not inside boxing, another plug for a fantastic podcast on Underground, the way some people are, but 70,000 people of the 80,000 are the same as me. We're not going to be mulling over what are the stakes here and everything. I think it's an excellent showcase and cannot wait to see it. Eddie Hearn was on Morning TV this morning in Ireland and he gave Ian Gary the old plug as well. So seems to be working well.
Okay, well, let me ask you about that because I talked about the press conference after and some people I know will say this is a little much. It's just a marketing deal. But I also did say and this is straight from you. This is from what you have said and what I've learned from talking to you, which is Ian just needs to reconnect with the Irish. He needs to be in front of the Irish fans and media. Putting him in there, press there, he's being mentioned. This who knows what this leads to? Does it lead to sponsorships? Does it lead to headaches with you? But I feel like today's a win for Ian Gary. Agree or disagree?
Absolutely. And I agree. That's what we need to do. And I know he didn't like me talking about that for a long time, but it was the truth and that's our job. And I think he acknowledged that when he was on your show, when he came on immediately after Eddie Hearn spoke and he said this is something that he needs to address. He talked about leaving Ireland very early on, which is all true. And I think there was some, not even mistakes. It's just Irish people get rubbed up the wrong way. If someone's like, I love living in Florida, hang on a second. Is that a slight on Ireland? And he's like, I love living in Brazil. And they're like, hang on. Are you trying to say that Ireland isn't the greatest country in the world and ever created? They take offense to that kind of thing. I think it's a great move. He's saying all the right things, talking about going to Dublin matches in Croke Park when he was growing up, talking about this one being for the Irish, all this kind of stuff. Eddie Hearn has great media connections there. My cousin's son, Cameron, went to this. He is a ray of light in a country that has kind of lost its love for MMA. He is absolutely buzzing to meet Ian Gary. He got him to sign his video game. Absolutely thinks that he's gonna beat Islam. He's gonna knock him out. He thinks Connor's gonna knock out Max. He's absolutely buzzing for it. He stayed there and he did every bit of media. And he signed all the autographs. I was talking to a boxing media guy who said there were about 100 people waiting there for him. So I think that's a big win for Ian Gary. I see it let's just start again. This is what Eddie wants to do. Let's just restart the whole thing. You know, let's try and get your foot right. Like, this guy is fighting for the welterweight title of the world. This should be a huge story in Ireland. I've talked about it online, saying like, how are none of the papers covering this? And I think he didn't like that either. But it's the truth. MMA has fallen off a lot due to the perception of McGregor in Ireland. Of course, he overshadows everything in the sport here. But Ian is in an amazing place. He's an amazing fighter. I think if he could rekindle or just stoke the fire here in Ireland, it would be very, very beneficial to him. Because as he has said today at that press conference, the Irish support their own like no other. And I'd love to see a bit more of that for Ian Gary.
Amen. He did speak. We spoke about him earlier. We played a clip, all that and more. Here he is talking about the upcoming fight from the press conference earlier today versus Islam Makhachev.
In my ideal scenario, I want a 4th round finish. I don't want any early knockout, because then there's ifs, buts, maybes, there's excuses. I want 4 rounds of domination, and in that 4th round, I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to do it now. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to finish him. I'm going to open the door, I'm going to walk him into my traps, and I'm going to take his head clean off his shoulders.
There you have it. A very confident Ian Gary. Ian Gary, by the way, Mark, is a young Irishman. He met Conor McGregor in a store. He took a picture with him. You heard about this young man, yeah?
Oh, Frank, what's going on?
No, that was him. You had to press the button there, right?
I never hit the button.
Oh, Rick's been doing the button for you.
I'm being sabotaged back here.
Wow.
It's very clear.
Wow.
Very clear to
I
me.
turned off his button.
All right, very nice.
I have written that very story about Ian Gary and his mom not wanting him to get into MMA on ESPN.com. I wrote about that. And
Yes.
Ian Gary, good guy. Know him. Know his wife. Know his agent. Still with Boehner, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, that was a big point
Pearson.
of confusion.
Yes.
Is he still,
Yes,
no,
of course.
Boehner's still his management. This isn't quite like the Tom Aspinall situation where he's, signing up with Eddie to be his manager just for sponsorship, marketing, things of that nature.
Now, can we talk about that? Now, we're not just going to brush by that, okay? Because there's all this conversation about Tom, if he made the right decision. Is he just a pawn in the game? Ian has signed to fight for this welterweight title, but how do you think they feel about it? How do you think the UFC feel about seeing this guy they gave a massive push to, right? It's a different dynamic than Tom, right? Tom, in the aftermath of the eye situation with Gan, Dana said some things. You could feel like there was a bit of an issue there. He spoke about it on this show. He joins with Eddie, who's having this beef with Dana. Made kind of sense for Tom and Eddie to band together. Gary and Ian, on the other hand, he's got the push. He had the promotional rocket strapped to his back. Now, timing-wise, great decision. You've already got the title fight. They can't just do the old switcheroo now. But on the long term, how do you think this will be viewed by the UFC?
Probably not great. I can't imagine they're happy. Just being 100% honest. They're at war. UFC's not at war with Eddie. TKO, very personal, talking about the economics, talking about the finances. He's coming after them. He openly says he does not want to make peace with them. He openly says he doesn't want to bury the hatchet. And so now one of their guys is up there. Look, as I said a million times over, this ain't the same as Conor Benn signing with Zuffa. It's not the same. Conor Benn is going to fight for Zuffa. He is going to be on their cards. He has a promotional agreement with them. This isn't the same. Ian, Tom, they can't fight for Matchroom. And so it's not apples to apples. It just can't be apples to apples. If Eddie wants to start his own MMA promotion and then pluck fighters away, now we could talk about apples to apples. This is not. But, he's talking about the business. He's kind of getting in their way. He's sort of getting in their hair and stuff like that. I don't think they're like, that freaking Eddie Hearn, I hate this guy, F him. But they're probably, as I said yesterday, probably not going to go out of their way to do any favors right now, right? They're probably not overjoyed. And the UFC historically doesn't love managers, doesn't love people getting in the way, doesn't love having to negotiate through another party who's not a favorable party. They don't mind it when it's a house manager. They don't mind when it's someone that they plucked and put into that situation. They anointed as like, oh, you're going to be the in-between because we like you. They don't love that sort of thing. And they can always say, we're not going to talk to that person. Trust me, I know, they've done it. We don't like that person. Find someone else, or we're talking directly to you, or you're just not going to get the opportunities. They dictate all. There is no rule in place that they have to talk to Eddie Hearn or anyone from Matchroom. And something tells me they ain't going to talk to anyone from Matchroom. They're just not.
But do you guys get the sense that Ian is in a position to to make the plays that Tom seemingly might.
But I don't think Ian needs it like Tom needs it. Like
Neither do I, yeah.
I think Ian signed with Eddie for today, for days like today. Tom's situation is completely different.
I agree. I don't think that this has any material impact on.
But I think the UFC, knowing them like they do, knowing them like I do, is going to be like, why? Why did you do this?
Did he? I mean, again, this is the devil is in the details. He came on here and said that Lloyd is still his agent, right?
Yes.
And that representation is how these contracts are going to be done, right? It's not going to be through Eddie Hearn, who represents him in a marketing perspective. If the business is status quo, I don't think that Ian's going to suffer any ill effects. I think as long as the business stays the business, they'll be fine. And Ian doesn't seem like the type to rock the boat. He seems like the type to take the opportunities that he's given and maximize them and run with them. Like he has been the definition of a company man. Not that Tom Aspinall has not, right? But if we're looking at who the guys who have always stepped up for the UFC are, right? The guys who said, you name the time, the place, I'll fight the top-ranked guy. It doesn't matter. I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. Ian Machado Gary is very much about that life and always has been for the UFC. I don't imagine that changes much, to be honest. I think.
Well, they can't take the title shot away. They're not going to do that.
They absolutely can't. But it's a fair point Rick is making. Like Ian has stepped up short notice, done things that other fighters wouldn't. He deserves all the credit in the world for that. And I do, look, you're right, Ariel. Like it's nothing like the Conor Benn situation. But does any of this happen if Conor Benn doesn't sign for Zuffa?
I think that's a very, very fair question.
That's an interesting.
And I think Eddie himself has said probably not. So
might I interject?
Please.
Oh, I know that I'm
please,
just a
That's what
football
we
beat
do.
writer, but I did cover the UFC for over a decade. I will say this about that situation that's going on right now. It's not so much what Ian Machado Gary has done in the past. It's not so much what might happen in the future. It's the message of him signing with Eddie Hearn that's going to upset people in the UFC. It is.
Yeah.
Because that's how the UFC, there is that mentality that there's this us against them mentality in the UFC that has existed for as long as Dana White and pre-Endeavor. I'm talking about Dana White and the Fertitta brothers. There's that, us versus them mentality, and Eddie Hearn is very much them right now. And Ian Machado Gary signing with Eddie Hearn, the enemy, is, regardless of whether he's the one doing the negotiations or if it's Lloyd Pearson, which it certainly will be Lloyd Pearson, doesn't matter. It's the message. It's the message that is sending to the UFC, and I think that is what's going to upset them. I don't know how much it will affect him, but I don't know if the UFC gives Ian Machado Gary the benefit of the doubt after this happens.
That's exactly it. You know them very well. That's exactly it.
I hear you guys on this, but unless he rakes them over the coals on the money side, at the end of the day, he's going to be a favorable fighter for the UFC. He's going to continue to be the same guy.
UFC should get behind Ian Gary. Like, obviously, they're getting behind him by virtue of giving him this title shot. I thought it was, the obvious choice. Ian Gary wins. You want an Irish champion.
Absolutely.
The way they support, how loyal they are, the way they travel. Now, there's work that needs to be done. And by the way, there's a case to be made like, hey, you got a guy fighting for a belt? Like, there was once a time where the UFC would do a press conference in Ireland to get the people behind Ian Gary, even though he's not fighting in Ireland, right, PT? Like, there's a time where they would have done that sort of thing. So there's also an argument to be made, like, Eddie's doing their work, and he said that last week as well. But back to Mark's point, like, you're with us or you're against us, and you just did a deal with this guy, and you're going to be sitting up there, arm over his shoulder. Dana's going to brush it off. He's going to just say, like, I don't care. Come on. He's the same old guy. He's going to hold that grudge.
I hear everything you guys are saying, and I understand it. But what is the sign that you're against them? I don't think that he's against them.
You just aligned yourself with their enemy. Look
in a marketing deal.
I don't think he's.
Look at John McCarthy.
Either.
Look at John McCarthy. What he just said. I went to work for the competition. They hate me now.
Yeah, but
he's the best referee of all time.
The competition's working for him, and
but you know what it is. You know what it is.
There's a big.
It's optics.
You cited. I get all that, but you guys cited the key difference here, right? When Eddie Hearn talks about Tom Aspinall, it's this man needs to be respected and get his worth and come back and make all the money in the world. That is not the narrative for Ian Machado Gary, because that is not Eddie Hearn's job when it relates to Ian Machado Gary. That's Lloyd Pearson's job. That's Vayner Media's job. That's his representation's job. And so if he's not if they're not doing the same thing that Eddie Hearn is doing as it relates to Tom Aspinall, who doesn't have that type of person in place, right? Formerly, it was Andy Aspinall handling the business, and now it is in the hands of Eddie Hearn to advise that. But if they are not going, we're not getting our worth. The UFC's getting the same deal that they had with Ian Machado Gary before. They have the same ability to leverage him, and he has the same ability to leverage them. I don't expect that to change. I really don't. I don't see any reason. And there's a real chance that he's about to be the champion for the UFC. It is a non-zero chance. It is not an impossibility. I don't think it changes much. I'll be honest. I really don't.
So last week, guys, Eddie Hearn was in studio. Some of his most spirited commentary was directed actually towards his fellow countryman, Michael Bisping, if you may recall.
Yeah.
And so Michael Bisping has responded to what Eddie has said, and this is on his podcast with Paul Felder entitled Believe You Me. This transcription is via MMA Junkie, and the quote is, he wants to have a debate. I'm not having a debate online, but I'm very happy next time I'm in London to sit down face-to-face, man-to-man, and have a conversation like that. Okay, Eddie, let's see if he keeps that same energy. As an aside, I do feel like he will keep that same energy. That's kind of Eddie 101, but fair enough. Eddie Hearn was talking shit about me and about Felder too, really, but he only named me. He said he wants a debate. He said again he wants a debate. He said the word, I should be ashamed because I don't want Tom Aspinall to get paid. He continues, why should I be ashamed? I have no idea the money that Tom is getting paid. I'm not part of that. All I ever said, and I think anyone with half an ounce of intelligence can see it, that Eddie Hearn is muddying the waters with something between him and Dana White and his perceived war and beef that he has with Dana. That's all I said. I never mentioned a goddamn word about his compensation. I hope Tom Aspinall gets paid shitloads. I hope you could go out there and get him a contract for $30 million per fight. It's no skin off my nose. That's what I want for all the fighters. What the F are you talking about, Eddie? That's it. I just had to say that. That's a lie. To say those words that I should be ashamed, I never said that. I just said it's a bit weird that he's not fighting it. Eddie Hearn is now managing him. We all know that. And so he continues, by the way, it's absolute horseshit what Eddie Hearn is saying, and he wants to have a debate. Eddie, all you little shits out there as well, I don't want you to get it twisted. I care about fighters. We care deeply about the sport, and this is why we are commentators. There's nothing wrong with that. So there's Michael Bisping's response. And I have no doubt that that Michael Bisping cares about fighters and has an affinity towards Tom Aspinall. I think Tom and his team took issue with the stuff that he was saying and don't feel like he has had his back in this particular, because, they come from the same place. They've been friendly for some time. My impression is they feel like he hasn't had their back in all of this. And, Eddie doing what he does so very well as the mouthpiece, if you will, as the representative, as the advocate, is backing his guy. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think a debate would be phenomenal, but I'm not surprised that Bisping is saying no to that. There's little to be gained from that on Bisping's side of things. But a very interesting thing, and look, BLB going to BLB. Once upon a time, he wasn't going to BLB, but nowadays, BLB. And Mark, don't you dare ask me what BLB stands for. It's probably going over your head, but it's okay.
A lot of things go over my head. I'm only 5'6".
Wow.
Whoa.
That was...
Be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Yeah. Okay, some other things, guys. Let us talk about the one and only John Jones. John Jones is over there in Russia doing his thing, and he was actually asked about a potential fight against Cyril Gane, Alex Pereira. This continues to be a topic, believe it or not. Here's what he had to say.
Saw your reels in Instagram when you saw the fight, the last UFC, and your face is, what the hell is that? I think you can fight with two guys this night and win.
I would love to. I would absolutely love to. Anytime, anywhere, any place.
He should get $60 million for that night. $60 million, $30 million each. Or maybe 15-15. Here's Max Holloway weighing in on Dustin Poirier's recent arrest. Obviously, they know each other quite well. He was a part of Dustin Poirier's retirement fight just about a year ago now. Here's what Max had to say.
Thoughts on the video, bro. I mean, no thoughts really, man. It's just is what it is. So his post on top of IG, and it looks like he's gonna go get some help, but it's tough, man. It's tough. And I think Dustin's going to recover, bro. I think he'll be fine. Just sad to see, bro.
Nice to see him lend some support for his, fellow fighter, a man that he shared the cage with on multiple occasions. Michael Chandler, what about him? Here he is weighing in post White House card. Look at how big he is. Look how much weight he's gained. He looks phenomenal. We'd all take this body, but look at this. 2 weeks later, Michael Chandler.
We're going to do a weight check.
Weight check.
Weight check. It's exactly what I weighed, except for 40 pounds less. I weighed 155.6, 195.
195.
Let's go see who's the top.
That is absurd. 195.
By the way, did we see what Michael Chandler was wearing to the official weigh-ins in the morning?
I did not.
It was an NWO tank top.
Was it really?
Yeah, it was.
How did I miss that?
I got a photo.
Oh, you know
sent
for
to me.
sure Mark has got
No,
this.
he's all over
I'm not-
that.
I'm not
I
even
got a
gonna question.
photo sent to me by the one and only Mike Bond
Okay.
from MMA Junkie.
I didn't know
Perhaps you've-
Chandler
perhaps
knows
you've
ball
heard
like
of
that. Yes, I have. Fellow Canadian.
And I have it right here. This is what he was
Wow.
wearing. Yeah, NWO. That's right. I don't think Michael Chandler read "Say Hello to the Bad Guys" though, but
Maybe that was his way of
I'll
saying-
shoot him a text.
Perfect
Maybe I'll send him
opportunity.
a book.
Maybe he
Who's
wanted
the
a signed
check?
copy. Yeah, signed copy.
He's up at pizza weight now. Huge.
Speaking of great Americans, Sean Strickland is in Florida right now doing all kinds of crazy things, but I do want to note that once again, he is campaigning for his friend Johnny Eblin to fight in the UFC, but this time with a twist.
First session done with Johnny. This guy's a savage.
You're
It's
a
gonna
fucking
happen.
savage. You're the fucking champ.
This guy's gonna win the belt. Let's go to UFC. He's gonna get one fight, and then we're gonna fight for the belt.
Goddamn
and I don't
right.
fucking know who's gonna win, but we're gonna
It's gonna
fucking
be
fight.
fun. It's
Yes.
gonna be fun.
So this time he's saying he's going to come to the UFC and they're going to actually fight each other. And something tells me both of them would be down. Something tells me both of them would have no issues with that, right?
And actually a great fight as well.
It would be a great fight.
Really, like I think I would look like such a great clash of styles. I think Eblin's a beast. Strickland has proved time and time again that he can pull out things that we just don't think he's capable of. He leave us with egg all over his face. And can I just say,
please,
underrated facial hair game, Sean Strickland. He's trying some new things there. He's on
I do
full
like
beard.
it.
We've seen him with just the mustache. You know what I mean? He's a real innovator.
I do like that.
Facial hair.
Remember the Strickland look with the hair?
Oh, it's
like,
tremendous.
it's a good looking
Tarzan?
man. It's a good looking man.
Tarzan.
I always thought he looked like
170
Bisping.
pounds?
Young Bisping. I always thought he looked like when he was completely shaven.
Yeah, svelte, like he had like razor sharp cheekbones.
He was looks maxing before that was a thing. Before
He did look like that guy. What's that guy's name?
Clavicular.
Clavicular?
See, this is why we miss Mark. He drops, what do you call that? Not social media references, like modern day
Pop culture?
Pop culture references. Yes, tremendous. Speaking of people who have fought or maybe didn't fight, I'm looking for the connection here. Anyway, Merab Dvalishvili talking about his good friend Sugar Sean O'Malley. I'm usually better at this. I'm usually better working through the kinks. Here he is talking about rooting for Sugar Sean. Merab.
Who else you ask me?
I asked you about Pereira.
Oh, Sean O'Malley. Yeah, and I will be also biased with Sean O'Malley because I fought him 2 times, and I'm always going to rooting for him.
You like him?
I like him now very much.
You didn't like him before.
No. Beginning I was doubted at him, and then I realized he was good. And when I was, I never hate him, but I like him so much now. And then I get now I learn English. I get his jokes. He's funny.
Merab.
DC doing a little live show action there. I like it. A reminder, July 10th, Demetrius Johnson. The whole gang will be there, including Pizzi, but not Mark. Mark's going to be, where are you going to be, in Buckhead?
I'm not coming.
I don't know. Aren't you going to be at training camp?
Buckhead hanging with Nikisa Badarian.
Isn't that where training camp is?
Training camp is in Flowery Branch, Georgia.
Okay.
Starts at the end of July.
It is
Tell Bijan
apropos.
I'm asking for him, yeah? When you're there, just say I was asking for him.
What was that, Pizzi?
Just tell Bijan I was asking for him.
I'll let him know. I'll let him. Yes, I'll absolutely let him know.
I was going to say, it's apropos that we have someone sitting in GC's chair who covers his beloved Valley. Like, it feels like it all just kind of worked out very, very nicely. By the way, guys, earlier today we talked about this undercard announcement. I did, like Pizzi and everyone in Ireland, like you talk about Croke Park like it's Madison Square Garden, like it's actually.
What are you talking about? It's way more important than fucking Madison Square Garden. Do you realize what happened in Croke Park?
Stop! Don't
English
even do
came
this.
in and started opening fire on people trying to enjoy a football game. It's a monument to Irish culture. All right, it's way beyond. But go ahead. Sorry.
It's the world's most famous arena versus a stadium in like a tiny, tiny part of the world. Anyway, don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Here's our good friend Dave Allen saying, "What's this Croke Park? Never heard of it."
Someone said that was Croke Park, but I didn't know what Croke Park was, to be honest. Obviously, I'm from Doncaster, so that was Croke Park, but I weren't really sure what it was. I'm still not actually 100% sure what it is now.
It's pretty big.
Yeah,
Look
I've
at
heard
Paddy
that,
Donovan's
yeah.
face.
So,
he is
but yeah,
holding
got
back
offered
a
the fight,
blind
and
rage there.
Obviously, I've been boxing at world level, and I'm not a world level fighter, but at this level, usually, I knock them out. I'll just go in there, not really with any worries, and this one, I'm away from home, I'll just come over, be my usual jolly self, get in there, and we'll see. This guy will have to be pretty good to beat me. I've been beat a few times, but they've all been Olympic medalists, world title challengers. This guy will have to be pretty good to beat me, yeah.
You take offense to that, PT.
Yeah.
What's this? He said he's from Doncaster. He doesn't know anything about Croke Park.
If he's a boxing fan, Muhammad Ali fought there before, at least.
Yeah, he fought everywhere.
Heavyweight.
He fought at Maple Leaf Gardens as well. I mean,
Maple Leaf Gardens, the famed arena. Yeah,
of course. I love that.
But Ben Folks doesn't think it's a real place. We've
does
talked
feel
about it for so
fictitious,
long.
yes.
He thinks it feels like it's like you are making this up and it's some joke you're playing on me. So
Garth
at least
Brooks
on
played
September
there in
5th,
2014, I think. It was front page
Everyone
news.
has played there. Everyone. The boss. I mean, the boss has had some serious.
I'll never
gigs.
forget being out there for the Brandau fight, and all everyone was talking. Front page news, Garth Brooks at Croke Park. I'm like, there's got to be more important things to talk about here. Garth Brooks, is he going to go past the curfew? Is he going to go to 10:01? Are they going to shut off the lights?
The curfew's a big fucking thing. I don't know how they're going to negotiate the curfew.
Well, it's
when
going to be
Katie
earlier.
fights, you know what I mean?
It's going to be earlier.
Good.
If there's one person who deserved, they were telling me Paul McCartney was playing and they shut off the lights. He went 10 minutes over his time.
You're in North Inner City there. Like, it's right in the middle of the North Inner City. It's, you know what I mean? It's kind of like MSG and that. Like, you're right in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
Right there. And then as you're walking out, you're walking down, like, terraced houses. They're all just right there. So them residents, they don't mess around.
Terrace
They're
houses.
Not to be trifled with.
Terrace live
yeah,
there.
just like a load of terraced.
Oh.
Terraced.
Terraced.
All right. What the fuck? Like, what are you?
Were the
terrorist?
houses there before or after the park, though?
It was the terrorists that came into the park back then and opened fire on those people and killed a Tipperary player. All right? What? Dave Allen doesn't know it is. Of course it is, because they don't teach you in school about what your people did to my people. That's why. Okay? Sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. Dave Allen on the program tomorrow. Can't wait to ask him about this. The White Rhino. We love the White Rhino.
Big fan.
Speaking of heavyweights, the IBF is ordering Moses Talma versus Frank Sanchez for the heavyweight title. There is a bit of an interesting detail there. July 29th, they have until to reach an agreement. But the small issue is Moses is fighting in August, and he's not fighting Frank Sanchez. He's fighting Filip Hrgovic. But it seems inevitable. This dude has to fight for a belt at some point in 2026. So maybe after the Hrgovic fight, according to our good friend Darshan, we will get a Moses Talma title fight. Speaking of heavyweights, youngest heavyweight champion of all time. We always thought it was going to be Moses Talma. It doesn't look like it's going to be, but the man who still holds that record is the one and only Mike Tyson. Today's his birthday, 60 years young for Mike Tyson. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. There he is. That wasn't when he was the youngest heavyweight champion, and that certainly wasn't. Why was there a little spot on his head there for that fight?
Alopecia looks like to me.
Yeah. Anyway, he's 60 today,
What
guys.
was his nickname again, Ariel? What was his? He had a nickname.
Iron. Not I run.
Iron!
There it is. Thank you. He's a little slow today. I don't know if it's
Jesus.
like July 4th.
Ariel.
What?
You're the slow one.
I'm the slow one.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Okay. Side note, guys. Earlier today, I mentioned LeBron James. Mentioned him to Abdullah Mason. Do have to bring this up. The Lakers putting out a statement after the report from Mr. Ramundi's very good friend, Shams Charnia. Are you friends with Shams? Are you guys boys? Do you text?
We have never met.
Okay.
I do text with Adam Schefter once in a
while. Wow, look at you. Must be nice. Must be nice. Have you ever been pulled over and met? No, just kidding. Just kidding. Okay, so here's the statement.
I usually drop your name when I get pulled over. I FaceTime Ariel Helwani.
And then they give you another ticket.
Oh, yeah.
They take me to jail.
F that guy.
Forthright.
Do we have the statement or no? Yes, there it is. Lakers confirming LeBron James is one of the greatest athletes in history. We will always be thankful for his 8 years. By the way, that kind of blows me away. 8 years with the Lakers, including the title he led us to in 2020 under the toughest imaginable circumstances and the countless records he broke in purple and gold. We wish him all the best in the future, both on the court and off. He will always be a cherished part of the Lakers family. LeBron quote tweeting this. No. Thank you, he writes. Truly an honor to wear the purple and gold while trying to continuing the greatness and legacies that came before me. I hope I made a few proud during my stint. Shocking stuff. Rick, do you believe this?
Yeah. He's an aging star.
I thought he was coming back. His son is there. No?
No, too much money. He's not a basketball player that you can create with the second apron penalties now. You can't have Luka and LeBron on the same roster and hope to field the championship team.
You think Luka's behind this? You think he took him in the back? Okay.
No, I think Pelinka and Buss are making smart business decisions, and now LeBron is free to just do his ride off into the sunset. Hopefully, I wouldn't mind another Cavs run or with Olden State. Like you just do one of those two.
Olden State.
A little Skip Bayless.
That's a Skip Bayless.
Okay, where do you say? Where does he go?
He'll go to Golden State.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Has he won a championship? I'm sorry, pardon my ignorance. Has he won a championship with the Lakers?
Yes.
Yeah, 2020.
He won with each franchise he played.
It was in the bubble, which some people like to put an asterisk. I say that's total bullshit. They won fair and square. Everyone was playing under the same circumstances. It was different because they were all playing at Disney, if you recall. So there was no traveling, there was no flying, there was no time zones and all that. But, it was still a title. I consider it the same.
I think it's one of the hardest titles.
Yeah. I mean,
everybody was locked in on basketball. There was no other thing to be focused on.
Yeah. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. I can't wait to write my kids about this.
He's too expensive a player.
It's just I thought he was going to ride out his career one more year. Bronny.
He's still really good, though, right?
He's really good, but not good enough to justify the contract.
Knicks?
No, because he's too expensive. You guys
we're good.
You're not even bringing back Hakporty.
This is the greatest. No, we're going to bring it back. Brock Ayler and my guy Leon, we're working through things right now.
Okay.
This is the greatest offseason of my life. Shamit back, I want to throw a parade. Mitch coming back, no problem.
Wait, is that official?
What, Mitch?
Mitch?
It's happening.
Oh,
About Cat.
You got inside info?
Cat's getting the extension, no problem. We're good. I just
understand about Mitch.
Clarkson, veteran minimum. Yes, please.
The free throws, right? I would assume that's an important part of playing basketball.
It's not.
Best offensive rebounder in the game, incredible defender, can defend up top, obviously defend down low, the blocks. Yeah, you can. Every team that tried to do Hack a Mitch lost. That game, not the series, because obviously we won every series.
Oh, I remember watching one of them, yeah.
Every time they resorted to that, including your Cavs, lost. It was sucker game. That's what it was.
I mean, that doesn't really...
Jordan Clarkson's coming back, veteran minimum, and there he is hanging out with on-air Jordans, Tottenham Hotspurs.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe we'll rub off some title. We'll going from beating the Spurs to maybe joining the Spurs.
Is that a Sunny celebration?
It is indeed.
Wow, breaking news, Frank. According to Mark's friend Shams, the Los Angeles Clippers are nearing a deal to send Kawhi Leonard to the Toronto Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, 2 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, and 2 second-rounders.
Wow. The East is picking up.
He was traded to them in 2018, 2019, won a championship, and left to LA. It did not go well, and he's back in Canada. Everyone thought when the Spurs traded him to Toronto, there was talk when that trade happened that he wouldn't report, that he would be so unhappy in Canada, ended up loving Canada. I bet he wishes, just like Bo Bichette seems to have wished, that he never left Canada, but here he is. Wow. That is shocking.
That's a decent Raptors team. The Heat obviously upgraded this offseason. The East is picking up. The East is picking up a little
Ingram
bit.
back in LA.
Nah, nobody cares about that.
All right, fine.
Kawhi.
Wow. I mean, Nick's still winning the Atlantic, no problem. Jaylen Brown's getting out of it. Jalen Duren wants out of Detroit. It's a great offseason for the New York Knicks. By the way, I wanted to ask this on-air Jordan to you. I saw this clip from Jalen Brunson, of course, king of New York. And I said this recently. I think Jalen Brunson, and actually Ramundi as well, I want you to weigh in on this because you're a proud New Yorker. I think this one championship puts Jalen Brunson above Derek Jeter on the New York Mount Rushmore.
Wow.
The pound for pound list, if you will.
Wow.
Agree or disagree? Because I think the one Knicks championship is worth more because the city is divided. There are a lot of Mets fans here, a lot of Yankee fans. Jeter is only beloved by the Yankee fans. Everyone's a Knicks fan.
You're on the Rushmore. It's equal. Everyone's on the same playing field.
That's why I changed it to pound for pound. Pound for pound list, beloved New York athletes, Brunson number 1, Jeter number 2.
I am not a Derek Jeter fan. I'm a Mets fan.
There you go.
Can't stand Derek Jeter. But I can't agree with you. I
There's-
cannot agree. I can't agree.
This
I
is
can't
here we
agree.
go. This is such a bad
Objectively
take.
speaking, I
It's
mean Derek
hard-
Jeter
it's
is. I think Jalen Brunson needs more time. I think that
The
Derek
one
Jeter was here
the
his
one
entire
is equal
career.
to the 5.
Derek Jeter was
Yeah.
here his entire career.
Yeah.
That math tracks.
And
Trust me.
One
it
is
means
equal
more.
to the 5 for sure.
How many people showed up to that parade? The Yankees parade
Millions.
probably
How many
not.
different parades? So, like, are we talking all the combined parades?
In any event.
Listen, I love Jalen Brunson.
Yes.
He has been everything and more than we could have imagined. But there is some recency bias about the greatest New York athlete ever. Like, what are we doing here?
Beloved. What do you mean, what are we doing? He brought us, everyone said it was a bad deal for him to come here. Everyone said he was a backup point guard. He brought us to the promised land. And to me, Jeter had multiple Hall of Famers on his team.
Do we think that
How many Hall of Famers does Jalen have? One maybe, Cat? Maybe OG in the end?
No.
Cat not Hall of Famer?
No.
Do we think that?
1,000% Hall of Famer.
The basketball Hall of Fame is kind of a joke.
It's the
Mikal
basketball
Bridges
Hall of Fame,
has
by the
3
way.
titles. He may make the basketball
Do
Hall
we
of Fame.
think that the guy whose only entry into New York sports is via the Knicks and not the Yankees at all is the best source of figuring this out?
Where's
Like,
Mike
do we
Bossy
think that
on this pound for pound list?
you as somebody who doesn't care about the Yankees?
No,
is
I'm the
one
most
to make
objective one. I have no dog in the race.
No, you have a dog in the race.
No.
It's
Mark
Jalen Brunson
Messier
because
has
you
to be
only
up
have
there,
one
too.
dog in the race.
No, Jalen
Mark
Brunson.
Messier is
Anyway,
up
Every
there.
New York fan.
No one cares about that guy.
Sports Illustrated. By the way, Messier's up there, sure, but there's Islander fans, there's Devils fans
He's
here.
not that-
even
there's not
ahead
that
of
many
Eli
Islanders
Manning
fans.
is a question.
That is
What was that, Mark?
There's not that many Islanders fans. Let's be honest.
All right, Mark's time has been really.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're done.
Jordan's been your biggest fan, nicest guy in the biz.
Not
Anyway,
anymore.
Sports Illustrated asked Jalen about his Mount Rushmore. They didn't hit him with the hard question. Here's what he had to say.
Mount Rushmore of New York athletes. Derek Jeter, Eli Manning, Joe Namath. I'll put a Nick in there. I got 3 to choose from. I'm gonna give it to the point guard and give it to Clyde Frazier.
Don't mind that.
What about Scattaboo? What
yeah,
about Scattaboo?
Scattaboo deserves a shout. Scattaboo deserves a shout. Are you
That's
okay?
a good list.
Are you okay with that Mount Rushmore?
That's a good list.
I think that's a fine list.
It's
although
fine.
I like the fact that he didn't put himself, obviously.
He would never do that.
What about him putting Clyde on there, not Patrick, who his own dad says is a better Nick?
I think it's respect for the guy who's still associated with the Knicks calling the, previously calling the games. Like, I like that. I like
have a
that.
problem with the list.
Willis Reed also needs that.
Captain.
Well, he said there's 3. I assume it was Reed, Frazier, and Ewing.
Yeah.
I have a problem with the list.
Tell me.
What is it?
As noted Jet fan on the show, hate him, love him, whatever you want to call. Joe Namath is maybe the most overrated quarterback in the history of the National Football League.
Yeah, but to Ariel's point, this is not
chip.
success,
Lot
right?
of
This
chip.
is like who are the beloved icons
Right.
of the city. Namath is beloved.
Absolutely. But again, there are Giants fans. So he's
There-
not.
there
Eli
are-
was on there too.
He's not universally.
There are better New York athletes than Joe Namath. Beloved and all
Mike
that.
Tyson.
Better.
Fair. but
New York doesn't really.
Okay, here's the thing.
John Jones.
More
He's from
beloved,
Brownsville.
more beloved New York athlete, Namath or Eli? It's Namath.
It's Namath.
It's Namath. Broadway Joe? Absolutely,
People
it's
hate
Namath.
Eli still. Even with the 2 titles, people are like.
Everyone has an
Eli.
affinity for Namath.
People don't hate Eli.
Hate is a strong word.
Yeah,
It was
Eli's
it
really
was just
Eli's
it was just
not
with
paying
Eli
for a meal in New York City.
when he won it was obviously huge, but there were some very lean years also with Eli for the Giants.
He killed the Patriots twice, though. I mean,
He beat the Patriots twice. He ended their undefeated season. I grew up a Giants fan.
Jeter is so far ahead everybody else in this conversation. It is insane.
Jeter is
Okay, let me ask you this. Jeter.
What about the baby?
By the way, Babe
What
Ruth.
about the Baby Ruth?
Babe Ruth.
Oh,
Lou Gehrig.
I'd like to claim that first.
Yeah.
I would like to claim that first.
They're up there. They're up there.
Love you.
I guess it's maybe like this half of the past 50 years. Can I?
Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle. I mean,
They're all up there. But I was
you're putting Jalen Brunson in.
No, I didn't call Jalen
Mickey Mantle. And
I didn't
Joe
say Jalen
DiMaggio?
Brunson's the greatest New York athlete of all time. To me, the argument is Jalen and Derek. I think Jalen is the modern day
Derek
Derek.
is the most beloved New York athlete of all time. He's
Is he
number
really?
one with a bullet.
I don't know about that. All time, no chance.
100%.
Can't
Derek
be
Jeter
because
is
50% of
synonymous
the
with-
city
No,
hates him.
50%. You think 50% of the city is Mets fans? I got
40?
some other
Certainly
news for
not.
you. There's a lot of fans outside of New York that love the
30%, 35%?
The Yankees are an American team, much more so than a.
Can you concede this? Let's say Jalen wins 2 back to back. Is it 2 equals 5?
No.
It's 5 equals 5?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
5 titles is
That's
5
not fair.
titles.
That's not fair.
Brunson has work to do.
If you were
No
a
doubt.
Yankees
No
fan,
doubt. He has work to do.
you'd be.
I just love him so much. I see.
He's great.
Humble guy.
Who doesn't love him? But I mean, Derek Jeter. I don't like
Jeter's a
Derek Jeter,
different
but I have
level.
to admit that Derek Jeter, he was with the Yankees his entire career. He was beloved in New York for decades.
I don't think Brunson's ahead of Mariano.
That is absurd.
It's not.
What?
Not absurd.
It's not.
Jordan, is that absurd?
Mariano, Grand New closer.
Yeah.
Jalen
Yeah,
Brunson.
Mariano.
He's just
You're
he's
nuts.
a position player.
You're
He
nuts.
shows up for 3 outs. Jalen freaking took the team on his
They're
back,
both
scored
closers.
Yeah,
45
What do you want me to
points.
tell you?
3
Both
outs every
closers.
single time. Matt
45
Cutler was
points
cutting.
when the rest of the team scored 49 in the deciding game. He changed my life.
I think
need
we
the
just
trophy.
we're too close to it. We need some time
No,
to
I
elapse.
know.
Being
We need
close to it is the key.
I don't need
I
some
lived
time.
in this city for all of these moments that you're
Bro, I
talking
lived here
about.
too.
The
All right.
Yankees in the 90s. This isn't even remotely close to that stretch.
This is crazy.
No, I
Still
unfortunately I
wondering why
agree.
no one's talking about Mike Bossy, Brian Trotchin.
Yeah, these guys are great.
Who those guys
Four
are.
straight Stanley Cups.
Great
Oh, these
call,
are
by the
hockey
way.
players?
Great call from proud Arizonian Shaheen Al-Shadi.
What did he say?
How did Mariano do in 2001, huh? How did he do in 2001?
Luis Gonzalez.
Yeah, how did he do?
Luis Gonzalez.
Letting the city down. The only time the world was cheering, or at least America was cheering for the Yankees, he let us down.
I was cheering for the Diamondbacks.
Really? You should go back to the high school.
Oh yeah, I
reunion.
can't. I hate.
He's a
the
Mets
Yankees.
fan.
I can't stand the Yankees. Can't stand. it.
Mariano was the most lights out guy in all of sports.
Nah,
ever.
yeah, unbelievable.
Unfucking believable.
Couldn't hated him.
You call
There's a
Captain
correlation between
Clutch.
how great they were and how much I hated them. Man, did I hate Jeter and Mariano because
Yeah.
they really were great.
Who hates Jalen Brunson? Nets fans don't
Nobody
even hate
hates
Brunson.
Jalen Brunson.
There are no Nets fans.
Brunson's great.
They don't exist.
Yeah.
That's not a thing.
He's just not Derek Jeter or Mariano Rivera.
Unfair comparisons, Ariel.
Fun comparisons, and the NBA is the best. Anyone who I'm sorry for the league you cover, it's not even close. The NBA is
It's way better. It's way better.
infinitely more interesting.
NFL's
You don't get this in the NFL. You don't get trades like this. You get it once in a blue moon. Once in a blue moon, you get the quarterback from the Lions going to the Rams, and everyone talks about it for 10 years. That's it.
Everything that Ariel loves is the best thing. And
Best.
everything that everybody else loves
the
is not a
absolute-
thing.
Didn't the best player in football just get traded like 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, Myles Garrett.
Best what?
Debatable, but
Best
yeah.
defensive player in football, certainly.
on.
You could make the argument.
Come on. Have you heard of a guy named Bradley Chubb?
Yes.
Honestly, not. I thought you were going to go Josh Allen.
No, he's not defensive.
Jalen Hurts got traded.
No, you said defensive.
I didn't have that caveat. That was.
Oh, okay.
Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Raimondi.
J17, are you kidding me? QB1. Do we have any super
No, we already said
chats?
that Bijan Robinson is the best
Stop it
player
with
in the NFL.
Bijan
I
Robinson.
love him. He's my favorite player to watch, Mark. I love him.
Not to be confused with Dijon Robertson. Let's go with, is it Robertson or Robinson?
Robertson.
Robinson.
Oscar
Gillian
Robertson.
Did you ever see him doing them shuttle runs, Mark, where he looked like a little hare? He's like,
Some kind of piss.
He's ridiculous. He's like a video game.
Intern Jack, you're up first. Oh, Intern Jack, can I give Intern Jack a big round of applause?
Yes.
Really came through in the clutch.
Jack.
Earlier today, guys, I don't even have it in my possession. Earlier today, I saw the cover of the New York Post, your former paper.
That's right.
Mark. Wham, bam,
right.
thank you, Sham. Oh, my God. I had to get it, and intern Jack saved the day.
Shamit, better than Jeter? more beloved?
I mean, it's not even a question. Shamit to me
Okay.
is like, is here. Jalen's here. Shamit number 1 because he signed my son's jersey. We were on the Shamit bandwagon before it was cool. We could at least acknowledge that,
100%.
right?
You guys were riding for Shamit when nobody was
I
riding
had to
for
get him the custom jersey because they wouldn't sell it. I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to make it. I had to put in the name and everything.
No lie. This is a story from my childhood. I once printed out I had to get a custom Rick Brunson jersey.
Really?
Because they didn't have Rick Brunson jerseys.
Wait, you have a Rick Brunson?
Not anymore. It's
On the Knicks?
in the trash. No, it was Bulls actually. But
Why? How did this never come up? Oh, it was a
I
joke.
did a gimmick as like I
Okay.
really loved Rick Brunson.
Serious?
My screen name was related to it. I just loved Rick Brunson.
How does this never come up?
It's Rick Brunson.
This has got to be kind of surreal now to see him get his flowers. He had a whole day in Syracuse
It
yesterday.
is cool to see Rick Brunson get this because he was, but it's a bit of tongue in cheek because he was such a nothing player,
Hey.
and then his son goes on to
His
become
spawn.
an absolutely incredible player.
His spawn changed us.
Look at Rick's tash, by the way. Can we acknowledge it's coming back?
Coming in nicely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna take care of this not even wispy, but like nasty rat's nest beard soon.
Okay, all right.
Friday.
All right. Okay, so did we have a question there? I don't even remember. What are we even talking about? Intern Jack. Oh yeah, Intern Jack with the newspapers. Thank you so much. Okay, you're up first, my friend.
Yeah, Ariel, for $1, this is from Laser Nico, by the way. For $1, I've been a fan of you since the days of Mayhem Miller fiasco, BS set on ESPN to now. So before PT pops a vein on the crack, here's my question. Is it true that Max is injured?
What? Okay, first of all, thank you for the kind words. And the BS set at ESPN is very apropos. I have not heard that. Honestly, I haven't heard that. So I don't know if is this a rumor right now? I have not heard that.
I've been scouring Twitter since I saw that, and I haven't seen anything. But maybe.
All right. Well, thanks for the $10 and appreciate the
The
support.
line has changed. I know that. I saw that today. The line is moving in Connor's favor, I think.
Hey, by the way, PT, those pictures like make us proud and all that, is that one place or is this like a
Yeah, that's
thing?
where Paul Hughes is from. Remember when he said to Paul Hughes that he wasn't Irish?
So Northern
That's
Ireland.
I think. Yeah, it's the north of Ireland, yeah, and
is
Derry.
Is it Northern Ireland or is it the north of Ireland? Or are those the?
We call it the north of Ireland here in the Republic.
Oh, interesting.
but
I
it's
didn't know this.
Yeah.
So you don't make that
But it's-
distinction.
Well, it's Northern Ireland, the country, but technically, but the people of Derry had a long struggle for their Irish identity, of course. I think there's more people who identify as Irish than British there at the moment. Certainly, Paul is one of them. And if you remember at the time when Habib and Habib and Paul Hughes at that moment, and it was caught in video, Paul saying something to Habib, McGregor came out and said, he basically questioned his Irish identity, and that would really be a stinging thing to most Irish people, never mind just the people of Derry. So I think that's one business in particular that already had a sign up about Connor. I can't remember what that one was. I think it's the same business because it's the same kind of graphic. But certainly, we've talked about it ad nauseum here, but McGregor's stock is not. It's far down compared to what it was in the heydays of 2015, 2016. Like, he is an incredibly divisive figure here. But
Is there more of that? Have you seen more of that in Dublin, or is that
no?
Okay,
no, but the mood in general,
sure,
wouldn't be positive. Yeah.
All right, intern Josh, you're up next.
Jake from Windy City says, Ariel, as it's the week of the 4th, how was your process in becoming a U.S. citizen? What questions stuck out to you immediately, and which were you stumped on?
Okay. It's a very interesting process, by the way, and it took a while. I had a green card for 10 plus years, and it was actually, to be honest, it was the election of 2020, the 2020 election that said to me, I was like, all right, it's time for me to, it's time for me to have a say. I live in this country. I want to partake in this process in particular. And that was really the catalyst for going through the process. Ironically, in 2024, I chose not to vote. So that was a weird, conclusion to that little part of the story. But basically, you have to fill out a bunch of papers. And then eventually, when it's time, you go to the USCIS building nearby, and you first have to go there and you first have to register. And then they give you 300 or so questions. And then you have to basically study all of them, about history, about geography, about the government, X, Y, and Z. And then you come back at a later date. They give you another date, and you have to answer. You get presented with 10 questions, and you just have to get 6 out of 10 right. And you have to spell a sentence. And so I remember being kind of nervous. How many representatives? How many congressmen? All the like that stuff. Numbers. You have to remember all of this. And I was, my wife and I, we studied and we felt like we were ready. And you get there and they asked you, they asked me, the pretty easy questions. Like number one of the questions that was asked of me was, what happened on 9/11? And another question was, why was Martin Luther King significant? So stuff like that. And I remember, I've actually forgotten it now. What the sentence was something like, I went to the store today. That was the sentence that you had to write out. Like they say it to you and you have to type it out. And I remember asking the guy, like, does anyone get this wrong? He's like, yeah, of course. You come from somewhere in Asia or the Middle East. There are people who misspell this. So in the end, it was supremely easy. But the studying and all that, you kind of had to be ready for everything. And they ended up asking like the easiest of questions, not like how many congressmen and women, how many representatives, all that stuff and more. Intern Jack, and happy 4th, of course.
Yeah, Mofo T-Rex 93 said, let's go Mexico. Do you know what the last UFC event took place on June 30th?
And by the way, what happened earlier today? Do we have an update? Didn't
Holland scored, knocked out the Ivory Coast.
Wow. Holland, man, he's having some kind of tournament, huh?
Mexico tonight against Ecuador, baby.
Did you see those scenes of the fans outside the hotel? Blasting music.
Unreal.
They're great.
Unbelievable. France, Sweden coming up. GC's going to that game.
Yeah,
And I'm looking at the time start for that game, 5 o'clock. I mean, it feels like he could have made it, right? I mean...
No, MetLife is going to be a nightmare to get into for these games, though. I heard, like you see this,
and to get out.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I've had no interest in MetLife has gotten like everyone has gotten such rave reviews. MetLife is the worst.
I'm pretty sure GC said he had to be at the transit center at 1.
That's
a
great point.
Just to get to the stadium.
That's absurd. I'm
he was leaving when he
the
rang me earlier, and it was like 12 for your time.
Yeah, no, it's absurd.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium blows a MetLife out of the water.
Dude, I know that, of course. I mean, aesthetically, I know that World Cup final is not going to be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's Atlanta, It should have been at SoFi.
What's wrong with Atlanta?
SoFi looks unbelievable. Atlanta, it's great. It's a great city, but, LA is LA. Media market-wise, demographics. It was the perfect place. It was it should have been SoFi, maybe Cowboy Stadium, but it should have been SoFi. Let's be honest. MetLife is an awful, awful stadium. It is.
Yikes.
It's shite. It's total shite. They rushed it. It's not a nice stadium. And all the SoFi, Atlanta, Minnesota, all put them to shame. Like, embarrassing. Anyway, June 30th. Well, I don't know what happened on June 30th. Why do you ask? List. I always go to list of UFC events. This is what I do. And if I want to do, I do Control F. June.
Is it a Mexico reference since he referenced Mexico?
Noche UFC, perhaps?
There is no June 30th. Or maybe it's...
I don't think there was.
June... Oh, wait. No, there's no June 30th, according to...
Can I make a statement here, Ariel? I think the New York Knicks championship run kind of took away from the World Cup for you. I think,
100%.
You're a big soccer guy, and I just feel like you're getting into it now. You were where we were at in the group
100%.
stages. You know what I mean?
It's not even a question.
Slowly getting in there.
Not a question. There's a combo of things. Number one, my boys aren't here, and so I don't have that, like, partner in crime. I watched Morocco and Netherlands yesterday, and it was great. But I am so high on the Knicks and a little bit like exhausted of just like my whole life for 3 months almost was just devoted and catered around their schedule. Like I kind of needed a break. So yes, but no regrets. I mean, absolutely no regrets. Canada killing it. I'm very excited. I'm into it now, but I will admit, group stage, total blur. Total blur. Total blur. I don't remember anything. I mean, Qatar game, scored a bunch of goals. Bosnia, barely remember Bosnia. Because Bosnia was right before game 5. I'm not thinking about Bosnia.
You didn't give a shit, man. You're like, yeah, no. What you think, Mark? Are you in?
I'm not a soccer guy, but I have been in on the World Cup for sure. I'm going to go out tonight in New York and watch Mexico versus Ecuador with some friends. It's
going to be sick.
Perhaps Jose
If you
Young.
return the favor, give me a call when you're pissed. You know what I mean? And then I'll be like, oh, this is what it's like.
Wear my Mexico jersey later. Viva Mexico.
Yeah.
Hey, hell yeah.
You have this one too?
I
The
married into.
Of course you did.
nice
Shout out to
seats.
Wendy.
That's right.
Look at Connor over there, huh? Must be nice.
Oh.
Should we call him real
Which
quick?
Mexico jersey do you have, Mark?
I
You
actually
have
don't.
this
I
bad
actually
boy?
don't have one.
The 80s.
You're really wearing a Mexico jersey. Shout out to
yeah.
San Patricios.
Yeah.
What is
Know
that?
story?
Love 'em.
What is that?
The Irish who joined the
St.
Mexican
Patrick, right?
side in the revolution.
Wow. Did you know about this?
Are you joking me? I hit you with. Remember when the Venezuelan vixen tried to beef with me?
Yeah.
Come
Oh,
on.
that's right.
And I told you about the Venezuela, the Irish that went to fight in Venezuela. That we teach this kind of stuff in school. You know what I mean? We're very proud.
I'm calling GC. This is our first ever.
Anytime there are Catholics, the Irish will be there to defend them.
Hell yeah. This could be our first ever World Cup. Oh. Hello, is this Connor Burks? We're live on the air. We understand you're at the World Cup match 3 to 4 hours early. We wanted to get a scene set. How are things going over there at MetLife?
We're actually only 55 minutes early. We just did the American national anthem. They're sprinkling the field. The stadium's slowly filling up, but the vibes are high. The energy is palpable here.
Now, why are you singing the American national anthem in a match between France and Sweden?
You know, that's actually a great question. I'm not sure. I guess because it's taking place in America. Also, to honor the future World Cup champions, the red, white, and blue.
Very well said. Other question, what was the commute like? Everyone's complaining about the commute and all the meshugas over there. Give us the breakdown.
I'm going to be totally honest. I took the $98 train ride over here on NJ Transit. From door to seat, it took me 2.5 hours.
Wow.
It was not a short journey.
Pain in the butt. I heard it's sweaty, it's hot, it's muggy.
I am sweating my ass off.
Love it. Good seats, by the way. We're looking at your IG story. I mean, those are not bad. How'd you score those?
I am 12 rows back. I'm going to watch Mbappe put 2 in right in front of me.
That's the prediction? What's the prediction?
France 3-1 final. Gyökeres scores for Sweden.
Unbelievable. Please tell Anthony Alanga I say hello, all right?
All right, Anthony Alonga, anytime goal scorer plus 650. Go ahead and cash it.
Yeah, nail yourself. Enjoy.
All right, thanks, brother.
Do you remember Anthony Alanga on Nottingham Forest? What was it? Take me on a trip. I want to go somewhere. Copenhagen, Liverpool, not Liverpool, Leverkusen, and somewhere I really want to go to somewhere with you. You can be my. No, you don't remember that? Anthony Alanga? No. Oh, wait. That was the Super Callum Hudson-Odoi song. Damn it. I screwed it. There was another Anthony Alanga song. Anyway, what else? What else do we have? That was fun. We had a World Cup correspondent, guys. Connor Burks. Okay, who's up next? Is it Mr. Josh, I believe?
Yeah, we got Zombie Slayers here saying, ever met a bigger coffee fan than Paul Heyman?
Yes. This is a nod to my 2010 interview with Paul Heyman. Another one to add to the list, Josh, for your summer viewing, reading, research. 2010, Paul Heyman, out of wrestling, comes on the show when we were actually doing it from this building on this floor with a jug of coffee that must have been like 3 times bigger than this, which you can get right now at arielhelwani.com. Just jug. Do you remember this interview, Mark? Have you ever seen this one where he's talking about TNA, he's talking about leaving WWE, getting fired, all this stuff? Do you remember this interview?
I remember watching it. It's been a long time,
Yeah,
but I do remember watching it back then.
He had the ponytail. He had the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember. I remember they mentioned the Mayhem Miller interview.
Oh, yeah.
When he was playing, what is it?
Lucky Patrick.
Lucky Patrick
Yes.
from the movie, right?
Hell yeah.
You know, I had to write about that for the New York Post.
You were working for the Post back then?
I was with the Post. That was probably like
Wow.
2012, 2013,
Yeah.
right?
It was 2013, yep.
2013.
Yep.
So I wrote about that, and Mayhem emailed me.
He did?
Yeah.
What?
At my old New York Post email address. Yeah.
What did he say?
A lot of incoherent stuff.
Okay.
And
He was mad.
He was not. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm not sure, but it was very weird.
Unbelievable.
Sent me a lot of emails. Yeah.
Wow, that is weird.
Very strange.
Because your number or your email would be at the bottom of the articles,
Correct.
right? Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, intern Jack.
Yeah, we got Utbu01. Is Patty the unofficial backup for the main event?
Patty Pimblett.
A lot of talk here about injuries and backups,
Yeah, what is
and
this?
I'm getting a bit.
Yeah, what is this? I don't know. They haven't said that. I mean, he's fighting BSD. It should probably be BSD, right? BSD's on the winning streak. Patty just got the opportunity, so yeah. I don't think. I mean, maybe, but who the hell knows? It's not going to be necessary. Okay, one more. Intern Josh.
Last one here. We got Daniel saying Mexico or Ecuador, PT.
I love both nations. We have an affinity for Ecuador, right? Chito Vera representing Ecuador. Of course, Michael Morales as well. Mexico winning at home, though, is a story. If Mexico wins this, PT, do they get to keep going in Mexico? Because Canada wasn't afforded that luxury. You know, it's a weird one. But we don't get to play at home.
I don't know if it's been mentioned on the show here before. When England won the Cup in 1966, they played every single game at Wembley Stadium.
It's crazy.
Do you think that's fair?
No, I mean, as I said, I think
either. No, just that's an aside. I think Mexico are going to do great. Mexico have never won a knockout game before.
Wow.
Of course, the amazing Azteca Stadium. They are brilliant. Like they have given so much to the World Cup.
They've never won a knockout game before in their.
I don't think so. I think I'm correct saying that. I don't think they've ever won a knockout game, and they're such a fantastic World Cup nation. Like one of the best. Ecuador were widely tipped as outsiders in the lead up to this. A lot of the people in the know were saying they have a very defensively sound team. They have Caicedo in the middle, and I believe the defender is Pacho, is it, that plays in the Premier League as well, at centre half. They don't have a lot going forward, but they have an amazing defensive structure, and they stay very organised. Mexico, on the other hand, have amazing wingers. They spread the ball out wide. They have the Fulham striker up front. His name is now escaping me, but he scored his first ever World Cup goal in the first game of this World Cup, which was massive. Raúl
Jimenez.
Jimenez, exactly. Yes, the Fulham striker.
Close.
He's 35 years of age. I just think the feel-good story is for Mexico to win, and it does add to it that in the family, the Carroll sweepstakes, I have Mexico. My dad has Ecuador. So it's all on the line.
Okay.
But to answer your question, Ariel, they would play in the next round, the round of 16. It would be at Azteca. It would be in Mexico City, and it could be against England.
Oh, please!
What a scene!
Please, Azteca. Do you know what happened at the Azteca? The hand of God. Maradona's amazing goal against England. The first was the hand of God, and then one of the greatest goals ever scored. England fell victim to that. Paul Gascoigne started crying. Oh no!
1986, of course.
Imagine if that happened again.
They're actually calling the OG Anunoby.
I was good. You stole it. I was going to say,
I'm sorry.
Almost as good as the hand of OG back in Game 4 of the 2024 NBA Finals.
By the way,
OG or Jeter? What do you think?
OG
or Maradona, who's more beloved?
OG.
PT, Mexico, one knockout stage win.
PT, you come here with the facts. You know.
Correct, man. 1986.
1986 in.
Who they beat?
Bulgaria.
Stoichkov. Wasn't playing yet. Different side.
Just mentioning a random guy. All right. Well, I'm happy for the Mexicans that they get to play at home. It must be nice. Meanwhile, we have to go to LA and Houston for some reason. Like all this talk about co-hosts, we don't get to play at home? What the hell is that all about?
They had to bring in rules after England won it in 1966. And
why do we have to play Morocco in Houston? Send them over to Toronto or Vancouver. What the hell is this?
Because of England, 1966, when they cheated.
It is. Guys, tomorrow on the program, Dave Allen, the White Rhino, will join us. Love talking to him. Maybe we can have you on to teach him a thing or two about Croke Park. Maybe you can educate him. Very fun interview in studio that I'm really looking forward to. Emily Frazier is the director of Matchroom Sports. So basically the darts, the snooker, all that and more. She's got some exciting news to share. And she was featured in that Matchroom Netflix series.
Oh, she was class. Yeah, she was deadly. Yeah. Just don't call it snooker. It's not called snooker.
Snooker? Yeah. Snooker. My bad. She was class, and she'll be joining us in studio tomorrow. And the pound for pound king, in many people's eyes, Terrence Bud Crawford, going to join us as well. A lot to talk to him about. So looking forward to that and more. Our final stop, at least for me, before the July 4th weekend. But don't worry, Boys in the Back on Thursday, Crack on Friday, and then we'll be back Monday for our International Fight Week coverage. Cannot wait for that. Mark, keep making us proud on the other side of the fence, the other side of the street, as they say. Bills playing you guys this? No, last year was an awful showing against the Falcons.
That was that
right?
Bijan Robinson.
That was
91-yard run, right?
Who's QB1 next year, Mark? Who's QB1?
Either Tua Tagovailoa or Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah, obviously.
Tua's gone there.
Those
Tua's there. Yes.
Penix Jr. now, I like him, but Tua.
Penix
really
is still
not your
recovering
top
from ACL surgery. He had ACL surgery.
And you got
in
Tua
November.
to look after it.
Tua. Two lefties, too. Two left-handers.
Can you get PT on a NFL
Falcons
Live
pod?
or something?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like
That'd be great.
his knowledge is.
I watched every Atlanta Falcons game last year. I really thought it was there. I thought they had a fantastic offensive team, and it was just the goddamn D every time, Mark. What the fuck was happening? I mean, they're such a great offensive team, and these lads are like watching them going, here, definitely gonna win this. And then you're just like, holy shit, I can't believe it's happening again. And I used to text GC saying, what the fuck is going on with this team? He's like, don't speak to me. I'm so enraged. I can't even speak.
What's their gaffer's name, PT?
Don't know.
What was their gaffer's name? Raheem? You don't pay attention to that stuff.
Means fuck all to me.
Yeah.
I only think about the boys on the pitch. You know what I
Raheem
mean?
Morris
I don't care.
was the coach for 2 years, and he
should have got
let go.
booted, and he deserved to get booted, Mark. And I don't care about your relationship with him because he had a team full of talent there that he did absolutely nothing with. Like, this team should be deep in the playoffs, as far as I'm concerned. You got Robinson there. I mean, wasting his prime years. That genius of a footballer that runs like a hare. You can tell him I said that.
Just not a lot of depth. That was the issue. The issue was depth. They had injury issues, and then there wasn't a whole lot after those injuries. Once guys went
Didn't stop the Bills. Didn't stop the Bills. They didn't
That's
have
what
a
I'm
lot of
saying.
depth
That I
either.
mean, but the Bills actually had depth, and the Falcons did not, and that ended up killing them.
Not a wide receiver they didn't, Mark. Not a wide receiver.
Their wide receivers were not good last year. After when Drake London got hurt, they really didn't have much.
I was talking about the Bills wide receivers. They didn't.
Oh
have
yeah,
a
no,
lot
the
of
Bills.
wide
We'll be
receivers.
fine. DJ Moore will be fine. Keon Coleman comeback season. No other show can you get this type of wrestling knowledge, boxing knowledge, MMA knowledge, basketball knowledge, New York City knowledge, football knowledge as well.
Speaking of wrestling, I want to shout out Mucha Lucha Atlanta.
Okay.
Mucha Lucha Atlanta. I've been helping out with them down in Georgia. One of the best independent pro wrestling promotions, shows, events in the entire country.
I was going to give you an opportunity to plug them, but I wasn't sure.
One of the best.
One of the best. Next show, when?
August 23rd, Norcross, Georgia, at the Espacio Discotheque.
We'll be there. We got to pull up.
Pull up.
All right.
I'm telling you. No joke. One of the best crowds, one of the best events.
Main event?
Don't have the main event for you yet, but there will be several big name stars from Mexico on that show.
It is crazy they haven't called El Nariz to make an appearance. I mean,
let's we'll see. We'll see.
Canadian
Maybe
luchador.
I can
pull some strings.
Pull some strings and get
one of the more beloved.
I can't believe that England could play Mexico at the Azteca 40 years after.
I saw an Eddie Hearn interview about this. The possibility that it could happen.
That's mind blown. And I have the jersey already. Come on, this is please.
You're gonna be going hard for Mexico.
Oh,
that happens.
Believe me. Will we be in LV for that?
He's not going to be there unless you're pulling up.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I will.
Well, you thinking about taking a little trip down, PT? What is that?
Well, no. He's saying like, can we watch it together?
Yeah.
Just go.
Mark just hit us. Mark just hit us with the who me over there. That's my catchphrase, Bubba. All right. Play it again, Frank.
Who, me?
There it is. Yeah. All right, time to go, guys. It has been a great day. We were educated by Big John McCarthy. He dropped some facts with an X on us. Gillian Robertson was delightful. Looking forward to that. Who's the favorite going into that fight? Who was Kalshi saying? Probably Mackenzie, right? The champ. And of course, thank you very much to Abdullah Mason. Do yourself a favor if you're around, if you're at home, if you're chilling out, if you're doing your thing. Watch this young man compete on Saturday. He is great, and it's on TNT here in America. It's going to be on TNT Sports over in Europe. I don't know.
Is it?
I don't know. It's on TNT here. At the very least, it should be on DAZN, and Lord help us if they put it on pay-per-view, because that would be.
You said this is a top rank card, yeah?
It's a top rank DAZN card.
But wasn't the one Zoya's wasn't that top rank as well?
It was a matchroom card, but it had top rank fighters on it. But it's a DAZN card.
Oh, well then good.
Yeah.
Be on DAZN.
So it should conceivably just be on DAZN in front of the paywall, but let us see. Oh, look at this. Drake is shouting out Kawhi. Oh, it's all coming back together. 2019.
Oh, he just cursed them. He just cursed them.
Nah.
It's over.
Drake ain't got no curse. Drake is the anti-curse. He's the good luck charm. That's the difference. Chip with a dip. Too bad that dip resides in New York City right now, my friends. It's been a great day. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Thanks for all the questions. Thanks to all of them. Thanks to all of you. Back tomorrow, same time, place, Mississippi.